Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and to all of our friends hanging out the Wisdom Studios in Mall of America at the Watch Party. My name's Bahamut, joined by Justing, and we are here in our second Best of 5 in our playoff weekend. Yes, this is day number 1 of 3. We have 3 fantastic days of Heroes of Storm action for all of you at home. We just had our first series of the day. It was a nail-biter of a series. I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't watched it yet and if you're checking out the VODs, but either way, make sure you go and check out that first series between the members of Oxygen Esports and Wildheart Esports. But Justin, what'd you get up to on the break? It looks like your hair looks a little windswept.
Oh, it's just a bit warm in here, but yeah, I went and made a sandwich, so I've got that to look forward to. I'm excited for that.
Sandwich? What kind of sandwich?
A ham sandwich with cheese and pickles. And,
okay, all right.
And, yeah, some vegetables.
Did you bring enough for the class? Did you bring one for myself? Grubby's not here right now, so did you make me one at least?
If I mean, I could probably split it into sections. We could share the sandwich as a team.
Yes, I got chips. Just come on over. I'll have the chips. You bring the sandwich. It'll be perfect. But you know what? I want to talk to you guys about. It's not sandwiches. I want to talk to you about Ball Street actually, because it's up to you to get the best picks for the winning team as you're watching live on cclmarkets.com. It's free, Justing. If you pick wrong, you can sell your shares and buy the other team before the match is over. CCL markets trade from 0 to 100, with shares of the winning team valuing at 100 and shares of the losing team expiring at 0. There's tons of prizes this season, so join and play during every HeroesCCL broadcast. Thank you again, Ball Street, for partnering with us for HeroesCCL Season 4. But of course, we are going to start talking about some team rosters here, Justing. So I believe we can actually take a look at 30K right away, because we did have, just like earlier, the little interview right before we talk about the rosters.
Well, I would say the main thing I like about my team is how long I've known each of my teammates. We've had previous relationships, so we had like pre-existing synergy going into the season. For example, I've known Legacy for like 5+ years. We played together all the time in NGS and even tried out for like a bunch of teams together. Cattle and I played in NGS for multiple seasons. Kira and I used to duo in Storm League. My old NGS team, we'd scrim Kira's team. Obviously in-houses is where I play with Kira as well a lot, and Madara. That's sort of where I met Madara, was in-houses. So that's sort of how I met Madara and became, friends with him. It's always a lot of fun to play with people who you're, comfortable playing with.
We got this 30K roster here. We've got Cattle as our main tank, Cure as the flex. Legacy will be on that healer role. Liam killing them all in the backline on the offlane. Mater on the range assassin, and B-Kid will be the substitute, which will also be a tank role. A very strong roster here, Justin, coming out from 30K. I mean, Grubby has said it in the past, and we all can keep talking about this. I mean, they went lossless. I mean, not map lossless, but they did not lose a series during the group play stage of this season 4. So it's mind blowing, isn't it, Grubby? You are muted in Discord for me.
Yeah, I didn't know I'm going to be back yet. I was still monitoring the situation because I was afraid that I'm going to have lags because I had been experiencing a bit of lags in the break. But hopefully everything is good now. So I don't know what is mind-blowing because I was trying to figure something else out.
Oh, no
What
worries.
is mind-blowing, of course, is 30K's roster.
Yes.
They are insane. Cure has been one of the best performing players in all of CCL. And he was always on ranged and flex, but these days he's really been owning it up on that melee role. He's the star player to look out for here on Thal and many others, Imperious even. Then you've got Liam, best in words action of any offlane in CCL. Good here. These two are my highlights for tonight.
Very, very, it's just a star-studded roster here for 30K, but of course, let's go ahead and have our little short interview with Diamond Hands as well before we introduce their roster.
The only thing, the absolute only thing that I've ever liked about my team is that everyone is very funny and fun to hang out with. Notori is like one of the funniest people I've met like playing this game. Even if we're going like 0-4 in a block, it's pretty easy to just forget about it and have some yucks with the boys.
we have the Diamond Hands roster here. Justin, if you could break this down for everyone at home.
We've got Caesar Salad playing the tank role, someone who's really come into his own on the role. He used to be a healer, and he's role swapped, and now he is the full tank player for the team, making things like a Nubarak look quite strong. We have Hebi, that we've seen in the interviews, the support for the team, who talked about how much fun he has playing with his team, and just that they kind of have like a... It's good to see Diamond Hands having fun, even if they're not winning, even when they're, you know, when they're in a difficult situation, keeping the spirits up, and that can really carry you through an event like this, when things are going to get rough eventually. But you got Yeah Boy playing the ranged, you've got Nintori, the offlaner for the team, really scary on Dahaka specifically. We saw him end the game by himself on Garden of Terror with it. We've seen him hit just ridiculous drags. Rutso, the flex for the team, which I heard he's playing in NA, even though he's a European player. And Kelsier, the 6th member, playing that sub position. Diamond Hands, the 4th place team, the team that most people didn't expect to get here, but they might not have even expected it, but they're here, and they're here to play. We'll see if they're able to stack up against 30k.
Alrighty. I do have to be critical here, Justin. You didn't pronounce enough A's in Yeah Boy's name. That's just my thoughts. I do want to give a quick little update for anyone wondering where Grubby is, where he's been bouncing around. Looks like there's a little bit of connectivity issues. We've got our tech team working with him to try and level that out as quickly as possible. So we'll bring him back into the broadcast when we do have a level Grubby. But until then, you're just going to have to deal with Justin and I. That sounds like a great time, actually. So we can continue talking about our first map in this best of 5 series, and I do believe we can look at where we're going to for map number 1 in just a second here. I'm excited to really kind of dive into this because it is going to be Diamond Hands taking us to Battlefield of Eternity. If you're wondering how we got here, 30k opting in for first pick priority, banning out Sky Temple, and Diamond Hands will ban out Alterac Pass. Justin, some notes or some stats for you. 30k, singular map play on Battlefield, a loss. On the side of Diamond Hands, though, 3 plays on Battlefield, 3 wins from Diamond Hands. They're going to a confident map, but we always have to remind everyone that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer, am I right?
Yeah, it's that you can expire if you're overconfident. Overconfident is something that I've heard, actually, if you don't hold fast. And on this map, I do remember the last map from Diamond Hands in the Gauntlet. They played the double support composition. It was a perfect double support comp. It couldn't have been better. And they completely decimated Chili Mountain with it. And I'm hoping to see some more creative drafts like that come out from Diamond Hands. Diamond Hands, also the team that you mentioned earlier, brought out the Medivh Nazebo Zool composition in the last season with the Stukov Puddle. They have a lot of cool drafts that they can play, and I'm excited to see if Diamond Hands is the team that kind of shakes up the meta for everybody.
I wonder if we can actually see this happen here. Sorry, I looked at one of the player names in the in the lobby, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. It just threw me off guard for a second, but we are going to get loaded into Battlefield in just a second here. A really, really great map to kick things off between these two teams. They can test each other on camp timing, team fighting, and I think team fighting is a critical factor here, Justin, when we look at the draft between these two teams. And when I look at this, I mean, I remember back to previous season where we were in comms and we were listening to Liam, killing everyone in the backline on this map on Urel. We'll see if Blaze is the priority. We'll see if Liam goes for the Urel. We'll see what Cure goes into as well. Will he get that Zeratul? I'm ecstatic about this one. But first pick, first ban out from the side of 30k.
And we have a situation with 30k and Cure specifically. You talked about how he is one of the best players we have in the whole league and how he's been catering a bit more towards the melees. That's something that I'd kind of expected as the season progressed, as things got a little bit more serious, that Cure would stop playing the range so much and start playing more of the melees. I think that just because of Cure and his ability to play the melees so well, I think that's a large part of why we see all the other teams starting to play this Thrall, starting to play the Imperious, things that are these triple melee style compositions. I think it might be nearly entirely because of Cure, because he's so good at these melee heroes, and 30k is winning all the games. So if you're another team and you're seeing 30k win every single game with this triple melee comp, you might think that's the secret solution, but as we've seen from 30k, that Cure can play other things too, and that might not be just a compositional thing. It might just be a 30k special, just being so good as a team.
Was it in week number 7? Was it Cure who had the flank blink sundering play on Towers of Doom? Was that Cure or was that someone else?
That was Diamond Hands. I think that was Yeah
okay.
Boy.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, so it's It's going to be exciting because Kier's been playing a lot more of the Thrall, but so has Yaboy, and we've seen some of those really amazing backline dives. Brightwing and Nubrak for the side of Diamond Hands really doesn't show much of their draft. Heavy will get onto a comfort on that Brightwing as he did get target banned out. We also want to point this out. Rutzo's Zarya, now that Rutzo is on low ping or NA ping or central server ping, however you want to break it down, getting rid of that Zarya, it's like, we really don't want to play against that. But Madara does get that comfort in the Hanzo. Curious to see what the next two pickups will be. It's going to be that Blaze and a Muradin as well. Two very strong heroes for a map like Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, heroes that we saw picked pretty much in the first two picks, always in the last series. Blaze was first picked in every game it was available. Muradin was picked in the first rotation by pretty much every game by Wildheart. So you have really high priority picks coming through. The Hanzo picked up by 30k. Li Ming pairs extremely well with Hanzo on Battlefield of Eternity. Those are the two kind of iconic double-ranged heroes that you see for poke. So if Diamond Hands doesn't want to play it themselves, you'd expect it to be banned. So there's a chance for 30k to actually be the team to ban it if they want. They do have the Brightwing and Noob, just a lot of CC right now. Hogger is available as the obvious ban, but we've seen how much Nintori prefers the Dahaka. We might not see an offlane ban at all.
I wonder if they actually... Do they get rid of maybe like a Falstad? I know it's not super popular in a map like this, but Yaboy's been playing it very effectively. Would give a double global factor to the side of Diamond Hands, and it's something we actually have seen in the past on a map like Battlefield of Eternity. The global value is not like super crazy prioritized, but it still is. Auto attacks, poke, Falstad overall is a very, very good hero. Though, I say that, and I'm like, what about earlier when we were talking about on Tomb of the Spider Queen, how I wish that a Nubrak had a dive buddy like a Greymane, which would be very good for the race potential. Also could grab the Li Ming because that pairs in, also denies the counterplay of Li Ming against a Nubrak with Cocoon and Disintegrate, but it's going to be a Sylvanas and Yrel. A lot of things unfolding here for Battlefield of Eternity, Justin. Yeah,
we'll see if Nintori on the Yrel is able to kill them all, like Liam has been known to do on Battlefield of Eternity. Specifically, we'll see. He's using his own hero against him here on the side of Diamond Hands. And the Sylvanas I like instead of the Greymane right now. They still have the option to flex into picking Greymane with double ranged, but picking the Greymane into the Blaze and Muradin is scary. It makes it a lot less flexible for what you want to go later on. The Blaze has the potential for the attack speed slow at 7. Muradin has the potential for the reverb. And we see a solo heal Uther paired with the Lunara, denying Lunara away from Diamond Hands so they don't have that kind of obvious counter to the Uther. But there are a lot of other picks that you can pick here that can just try to play around Uther's weakness, which is the sustain.
Last pick. I do like all the attack speed reductions and everything. Genji to get into the backline to pressure onto Lunara and Hanzo. I feel like that could be actually really, really good to be able to, well, as I said, harass the backline quite a bit. As we're loading on into this, Justin, got to get your thoughts on who you think could take map number 1, or who maybe just has the stronger draft.
So I'd say 30k has an easier time playing the map as they do have the poke composition, but it's really awkward to play a poke composition with an Uther. Typically that's not what you want to do. Typically you play the Uther to enable a hard engage composition. And the Genji is also a little bit weird for me from Diamond Hands for the last pick. It really doesn't, it kind of plays into what Uther wants. Uther wants you to have something that wants to fight fast, that isn't really so much of a poke hero. But if you're able to space perfectly on Genji and have perfect mechanics, you do have kind of an ability to play as sort of a poke hero if you're mostly just playing from ranged with auto attacks once you get to level 13 and you get the increased damage on your autos. So there's a chance to make it work, but it's kind of a toss-up. They have the good counter engage against the engage from Diamond Hands with the Uther, with the Muradin. They have Bunker from Blaze. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Liam, the award winner, to be able to get those bunkers that can save the squishy backline in Hanzo and Lunara. And just a really confident draft, though, from Diamond Hands. While they lack the poke, they do have the hard engage you need to play a hard engage composition. So the execution harder for Diamond Hands, but I think they do have the tools in this situation, but the execution has to be there and it has to be flawless.
Well, we'll see if this can be a flawless execution from the side of, well, either side, to be realistic. We're gonna have to see who comes out on top. So, on the left-hand side, we have got the members of 30k. Legacy, playing the Uther, Cattle on the Muradin, Madara on the Lunara, Liam on the Blaze, and Cure is going to be on the Hanzo. Over on the side of Diamond Hands, we're going to be seeing Rutzo on the Genji, Hebi on the Brightwing. Yeah, boy! Senpai on the Sylvanas, Nintori on the Urel, and Caesar Salad on the Anubarak. We're going to go ahead and get into our bottom lane, and we will see what our first engagement does look like. We're going to go ahead, and I believe I can bring Grubby back into the mix right now.
Yep, I am back. Hopefully everything is going to be fine. Great
You
analysis
sound
there.
beautiful to me.
But that's you would say that. You would say that even if
This
I
is
was
the truth.
all robotic. Is this the first Genji this series? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We haven't
So
seen
this-
Genji today. We were, because we talked about it earlier for Dragonshire, for Nick to grab Genji. Or maybe it was Tomb. I think it was Tomb of the Spider-Man,
Yes,
excuse me.
yes.
We were talking about it, but then he went Tyrael instead, which is like, I wouldn't even say bargain bin Genji. I think it might have been better Genji.
Yeah. Tyrael, Tyrael was insane actually. Let's see, chat compared Tyrael to someone else. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So Genji's kind of cool. You get a bunch of deflect procs from the poison of Lunara. But on the other hand, deflect doesn't last that long, and poison isn't that bursty, so it tends to kind of stay beyond deflect's duration and still end up hurting Genji. So there's some pretty cool interactions there between the two of them. At level 13, Genji becomes a better Immortal racer, but before that, it's pretty garbage. He needs Shingon level 13 talent in order to really threaten Immortal race. And as usual, when you have a Genji, you're better at... Oh wow, they Fancy Pants, aka got CC'd and unable to get away with the hunting wave.
I was actually, one of the things I wanted to point out is the level 1 for the Uther, the Hammer of the Lightbringer, which is going to be very, very strong for the follow-up stun after Cattle, or even vice versa. Legacy starts the stun, Cattle starts the stun, the other one follows up. Cure just dumps in damage, and Madara does as well. I really like the 1-2 punch with the follow-up burst ability of 30k. An exceptionally beautiful way they've drafted this composition. And then later on in a 5v5, you've got Blaze, Liam, to be able to get the jet propulsion in. Want to point out that Liam did go into the Adrenal Stim Pack. It's kind of fun to see the departure or the change into the playstyle of Blaze throughout the seasons of CCL. In the past, it was, new habits, level 1, done. That's it. And now, it's so much Adrenaline Stim Pack. We see I think it's the Neuro Stim Pack, it's the purple one at level 1 from time to time, but this Adrenal Stim Pack feels like it's the standard, it's the tried and true now that all these CCL players are going for it.
Yeah, exactly. Just really, really brutal wave clear. Even decent in team fight, really.
Yeah.
Movement speed and attack speed, nothing to be sneezed at. And yeah, it's really crazy on the wave clear. So Battlefield of Eternity, because it only has 2 minion waves, it's extra important to take down 1 wave. Because that's 50% of minion XP on 3-lane map. That's just 33%. So most people, when they think of Battlefield of Eternity and Storm League, they think of race and race and race.
I agree.
Actually, you should be thinking of wave clear as well. Quickly clear wave, quickly clear bruiser, and then come back to the race battle.
And that was, I had mentioned Greymane in the draft as well, because I was thinking he'd have he's good at wave clear, he's good at race clear, or immortal racing, and he's also good at camp clearing and grabbing on his own. So one of those things that just kind of slid through the draft. But either way, we do have a pretty good start here for this out of 30k. They're going to get the first 50% of the immortal. Cure on 19 out of 20 stacks for his level 1 simple geometry, 62 out of, I believe it's 75 for the Hammer of the Lightbringer, and Genji's Shuriken Mastery is at 8 out of 60 stacks. Once again, gotta note the possession for Sylvanas at level 4.
Okay. Possession that's an interesting choice. Not gonna be wave clearing, looking to empower minion pushes when you are ahead. Stealing 3 archers can add a lot of DPS to a wave. Murden actually gets Urel into a stun circle from the Immortal. Nice job there by Urel, by Nintori, and they're gonna get a double kill here.
Genji goes in. Genji goes in, but he has the Swift Strike out. I saw the Cyber Agility, and I got worried that he didn't have another way to get out of that engagement. But here comes Alarian. He will be going into the top lane as the more well-defended lane. Alarian will hit for 546 standard damage, 6,006 damage into minions, but of course the big one, the one that we really got to note, structural damage, 1,092 damage from Alarian. 30k going to push in here with this Immortal.
That means it's 4 shotting towers. Diamond Hands was able to solve the wounds a bit with 2 kills despite losing the Immortal. They're gonna come in with all 5 as Nintori quick clears bottom. Wall will get taken out. Not much else will be achieved beyond that.
Okay. 1 auto from Alarian onto the fort. Uther still 8 stacks away from finishing the level 1 hammer, the Lightbringer. He did go into the Pursuit of Justice at level 4, which is great synergy with the level 1 for just the movement speed. You basically stun and you have 5% less speed than mount, so that's just a good way to either chase, sustain the chase in, or even just to be able to back away. Now, Yaboy is getting threatened quite heavily here. Pops the possession, I do think, for a second to steal a minion or two to help out, assuming he was going to go down and just try to be like, hey, I can steal a minion or two and at least get some value while I'm dead. But the save will be in from Heavy, and Yaboy is fine for now. A camp, though, to the side of 30k. Nice use of the Sentinel Wisp in the bush, which will scout out quite a bit for Madara and crew.
Baha, did you see that Murden Skullcracker value from Caterpillar?
I noticed that he got the stun onto Sylvanas, but was there more than just a little bit of stun?
Like, he kept like kiting forward, getting auto after auto, like 6 or 9 autos or something. Oh, Rutso gets the Uta kill there. Nice job by Diamond Hands and by Rutso. It's just funny because Caterpillar made that list of red card talents, right?
Yeah.
Things you should never take, and he put heavy impact on there. So he feels like Skullcracker is the thing to go for, and he did a lot of kiting, body blocking there on Fancy Pants, aka Yeah Boy. It really got quite greedy. He was throwing his haunting weight forward, which made him a target, and Murden Uther almost solo killed him, despite the entire team of Diamond Hands watching. That was a bit awkward. Cure came in and nearly got the Sylph kill, but at the end of the day, Ratso came in with Genji and got the return kill on Uther. It's now 3-1 kills, with Diamond Hands being in the lead. Now keep in mind, guys, Diamond Hands came up through the ladder bracket.
Yeah.
30k is 7-0. This is a best of 5 for guaranteed top 3, and for being in the winner bracket finals. It would be actually insane if Diamond Hands somehow won this series.
God, actually, it'd be quite the upset, to be honest, for the first series for 30k to lose, not map but series, to be in the playoffs. That'd be huge, but it also would be big for Diamond Hands as well. Not to take away from them in any way, shape, or form, their growth through the season, as Justin and I have talked about quite a bit, has been exponential. I mean, I think we all agree on this, that Diamond Hands has really grown as a team, and if they can turn this, if they can shut down 30k in this upper bracket matchup, that would be huge. But it's Yaboy who gets cleansed by the Brightwing. Madara does go down. Another kill over the side of Diamond Hands. Genji with the deflect, able to back away. Cocoon onto this Muradin. Heavy just trying to poke out with an Arcane Flare.
Big mistake there by Lunara. Lunara actually meant to double Leaping Strike Sylvanas, but only had 1 charge. Did Madara know that? He tried to walk away and died.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's one of those things where it's like, I feel like usually you're pretty aware when you're a Lunara of what charges you have for your own maneuverability, but sometimes that's just, there's so many things going on that maybe that just, there's a lapse in the moment and you're not able to, well, there's a brain fart, if you will. But what I want to take a look at and see is just how this race is going to go, as we're at 50% in favor for 30k.
Yeah, 30k winning the race once again. Cure actually did a big play. He was 1v3 and he used melee arrow to make Wailing Arrow unable to proc again on top of him. So it flew wide and he was fine. And then they nearly got Sylph. Madara misjudged with the Leaping Strike charge. Now Madara, Leaping Strikes away, very nice. You can see he's going to get stunned very close to home. He should be fine. That's a big arrow.
X-Strike from Genji. I feel like it was more of a disengaged tool. Yrel Nintori jumps over the far side of the wall. Divine Shield onto Lunar, and she goes in. Does get stunned by the Immortal, but Liam wants more. He pops the Pyromania. Stormbolt a little wide onto Brightwing, and that is another Immortal. Very well shielded. 1,485 shielding, if I'm not mistaken. And his base health for Alarian is about 18,000. So I'll give you the total here of shielding and everything. Yeah, boy! Sniped by Cure. Cattle with the setup right there. Beautifully played by the side of 30k, getting a staggered death on a very, very important hero. And with those staggered deaths, with those kills, Blaze Liam pushes up. Right now, the Immortal, 30,000 HP, 17,900 of that being actual HP.
We don't know what happened with Fancy Pants, with Yaboy in the bottom lane, right? We just see Murden bullying him. But the only thing that could have happened, well, two things. He eat away and Murden Dwarf Toss followed him. Or he was greedy again, he eat a minion wave, tried to possess, thinking he's alone in the wave, and Caterpillar just punishing him, abusing the fact that he has no E anymore.
Well, I mean, between Stormbolt cooldown reduction from autos being post 10 and the Skullcracker value, I think there's a lot of ways for Cattle to also manipulate Boy's maneuverability on the Sylvanas with the Haunting Wave, so long as Cattle's reading those moments. Because I think a lot of, Sylvanas players, they throw the Haunting Wave, they run to the opposite way, and then they trigger it and kind of juke you. But in a lot of these games, I feel like these high-tier players have a read on this, and maybe Cattle was trying to play around that and mitigated any sort of availability for the Haunting Wave. But bottom lane fort goes down, keep front gate will lose a bit. I think Cattle falls here. Huge arrow from Hanzo, does get the full duration. Divine Shield comes through, Avatar from Cattle. He has his trait kick in, a lot of damage still chasing onto Cattle. Dwarf toss away, gets the armor, burrow charge in from Caesar Salad. They really want Cattle here. He's low, and he doesn't go down. It's Genji to fall, well tapped by Cattle, and a chase. Oh, a chase that goes real bad for Diamond Hands.
Oh my. Yesterday, all our troubles seemed so far away. But now it seems like 30k is here to make them pay. Diamond Hands was so close to get Muradin. They got so far, but in the end, they couldn't make the kill. He was down to 100 life. Uther, Hanzo, saving him from the brink. X-Strike, trying to finish him off. The Dwarf Toss got away. And then finally, Anubarak, against all hope, against all expectations, managed to get the burrow charge, but now Genji had no X-Strike anymore. He got tilted, but Merlin got away. Tried to finish the job.
Yeah.
Instead, it was him that was finished.
A little too overconfident there, and we all know what happens with that one, as the Immortal will spawn here. Third one of the game, north and south position, and this will be race potential for 30k in the north position. How do we know this? The Observer naturally shows the blue Immortal as the axes, or excuse me, the Immortal they need to race as the axes, and their Immortal, 30k's, will be the shield. If we were to swap vision on the production view and stuff like that, those two icons would swap, but either way, that's just a little note right there. So if you are looking to see how it all shapes up, because the X-Strike comes out, the Urel Righteous Hammer, Hanzo gets a huge stun into the backline. Madara wants to step in onto Heavy, gets the Divine Shield, and Madara is going to try and go crazy here. Maybe crazy on you, as an Uther will be traded for Sylvanas, but Uther gets value in this ghost form, providing armor physical armor and some heals, as he does expire right there. Though Nintori, Ardent Defender's available, it's back up to about 75% HP.
That was interesting. Lunara trying to go for the backline there for Heavy, trying to get that healer, took the D-shield.
Oh wait, bottom,
and left
really
other people without of it.
Sorry to cut you off.
Oh my god.
Yeah, bottom has a massive wave that's going to get a keep. Hanzo may go down here. Lunara gets a leaping strike. The bottom lane keep is it's eradicated by the wave that did come through. I think that's okay still. Like, 30k has 16 talent here. They took down a keep. They're not losing objective. Hanzo dead for only 20 seconds. This is still pretty good for 30k.
Yeah, definitely. With them getting a keep, even facing an Immortal, like, let's say if this Immortal has like 30% and they end up losing it, which...
Race is better for the side of 30k, right? No, for Diamond Hands, sorry. Immortal dyslexia. I always do it backwards. Oh, I think I might have lost Grubby there, so I'm gonna bring Justing back into the mix right now, and we'll talk about this fight after it does unfold here, Justing, because this is going to be the Immortal race still breaking out. We have the leaping strikes from Lunara, as Madara is trying to get back over here. Dwarf toss out from Muradin. Justing, welcome back into the cast.
Hey, it's great to be back. We've got Diamond Hands trying to press 30k off of the Immortal again. This has been kind of the story of the game so far, is that Diamond Hands composition struggles to deal with the Immortals because they lack a race. So they need to fight past, and into an Uther it's very difficult. Looks like Diamond Hands, desperate to get any kind of fight, is going to look for one right now. The D-Shield's super early, so if Diamond Hands is able to disengage and then re-engage later on, it could be good, because the D-Shield's been really making their engages very difficult for the side of Diamond Hands.
So we do have a 1,548 damage into structures right now from the Immortal, as he still has a good shield. We do have an attempt onto Caesar Salad. The Soothing Mist from Heavy will stop that CC from happening. Rutso looking for a potential flank over here on the Genji. No, he's going to be just jumping in with the rest of the team. Madara on the far side of the keep front gate getting some damage in. Liam's Jet Propulsion does not connect. Urel jumps in with the Righteous Hammer, but she is going to get stunned to an eternity. Does get the Ardent Defender in time here. Though Justing the Immortal still gets a decent amount of value through top, a keep front gate, and one auto onto the keep.
the keep relatively safe though, and it was a really good ultimate coming out from Nintori on the Urel, especially since it's such a long cooldown, the Ardent Defender. Being able to just use that and then go back to the off lane, he's not likely to need that while he's clearing the minion waves across the map. So being able to use that just to create all that space to kind of save HP on his keep, actually just a really about as useful as possible of an ultimate for Nintori on the Urel. But 30k not done yet. They got the camp and they're going to start pushing with it potentially. We'll see if they're able to just drag all the members from Diamond Hands, or if they're able to just get some chip damage and leave.
Pyromania popped by Blaze. We also have the bunker down from him. X-Strike from the Genji. So 2 heroics traded in this moment. Genji, though, with a little bit of a lower cooldown in his heroic overall, but it's not by much. Urel still clearing things out in bottom, and it just kind of feels like 30k, Justin, they're just kind of waiting for the next Immortal phase, and they're just going to win this and then pushing through top again. It's been the 30k show. Granted, of course, there has been 5 to 6 in kills leaning onto the side of Diamond Hands, but kills don't really illustrate how a game is going. I mean, we look at the minimap, and that's really illustrating how the game's going.
Yeah, pretty much every time Diamond Hands is taking a fight, they're doing it at the cost of losing objective, which is at the cost of losing their structures. It's late enough in the game now that Diamond Hands should start feeling a little bit more comfortable to be able to force these engages. Their composition really needs talents to fight. They really needed level 10 before they could take any fights. And so now they're starting to get even more things that are important. They're getting a lot of spell armor between the Brightwing and the Genji, and they just have a lot of just damage mitigation now for the Genji, and just a lot of damage themselves with the Urel having the percent damage now as well. It makes Cattle a little bit more of a target, whereas without percent damage, he's basically not a target at all. Diamond Hands really needs to bully them off the Immortal completely and zone them, while trying to clear the Knights that are going to be pushing in bottom. They're on a timer at this point, so 30k in a massive power position right here.
Jump in from Cattle on top of a Nubrak. There's going to be an arrow from Cure as well. A Nubrak gets some good healing from the Brightwing, as that will be a cocoon onto the Uther. No one's available to break him out. There is some oil and flames on the ground to try and get that cocoon down, as Legacy pops the Divine Shield. He doesn't have 20, so there's no spread Divine Shield or Redemption, because that's 30k losing
Huge.
2 members right there. This is a great turnaround moment for Diamond Hands. I was saying that, oh man, the kills don't illustrate anything, but right now these kills are illustrating that Diamond Hands could be taking their first Immortal. This will go into bottom lane. Speaking of bottom lane, on the side of Diamond Hands, if we can take a look at their core, we have got a wave pushed in. We've got one catapult not doing the right job, but the catapults are hitting for 616 damage into structures. Doesn't look like anyone on the side of Diamond Hands are too concerned with that at the moment. Urel, Sylvanas to go back, tap well, and clear things out. But this might be the opportunity for 30k to turn it around, Justin.
So you have Diamond Hands, even though they get those 2 picks, the ranged were still alive for the side of 30k. That's all they need to be able to chip away at the Immortal, and they still hadn't dealt with the Knights. So because of that, even in that situation that looked like it was nearly best case scenario for Diamond Hands, getting a clean 2 for 0 in the fight, they still don't get quite the objective advantage that they would like. And that's just the compositional difference between Diamond Hands and 30k. 30k just kind of naturally wins the objective if things stay even, whereas Diamond Hands, their composition requires significantly more execution to actually get an advantage. But they have finally secured one, and they might be able to bully 30k off the defense completely.
Alrighty, big bad Belith through bottom lane, and we'll already have Legacy and Crew set up for this. I want to check the damage on the structures. 1,852 from Belith, as he's going to lose his shielding, moving into melee range very soon. Liam goes in with the Jet Propulsion, not connecting on anyone. That's a Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas. The Divine Shield comes out just in time, as we have the Oil Slick, the Flames, to burn out the Cocoon of Uther. He gets inside the bunker. Divine Shield was already used earlier to save Liam. The fort will fall. Legacy will be dead. No 20 talent here for a second or two. I don't think Redemption can be picked and then it gets the value. I think Uther has to respawn, and we're going to see what actually Uther is going to pick here. We're holding for now. Retso jumps in, Cure agility over the wall. The Shimada bros kind of battling out. Urel, very low chunk, Notori to 50%. Huge arrow from Hanzo connects. That's going to be a follow-up stun with the Sonic arrow from level 20. Bullseye from Cure sets up the kill onto Heavy.
Kind of unfortunate for Nintori there. It looked like he just barely sidestepped the arrow and his entire team got hit, which led to that kill. So a little bit of an unfortunate situation there, as Madara might be getting dove on by Retso. Cure super low. Just
no
barely
way.
lives.
Woo! And he goes... The confidence of Cure. If that was me, I would just be left-clicking into the Hall of Store. I wouldn't be going to the right being like, I got one Sonic arrow I can burn real quick. No, thank you.
One arrow left. He had to get rid of it before he refilled them, going back to base there. But Diamond Hands taking full advantage of that situation, nearly getting the bottom keep when the fort was still standing. 30k being extremely, I'd say, disrespectful to Diamond Hands to even... They should know better than to be trying to defend that fort. Legacy being left behind on the Uther as he was the most far forward. He was kind of the sacrifice for the team. They had no business defending there against the composition that Diamond Hands has that's super engage heavy, and they got punished for it. Nearly even more than that. Had that arrow been hit by Nintori, had they not got that pick, if they were able to get one more kill, that kill onto Cure perhaps, Diamond Hands likely would have just ended the game if they got anything else there. So 30k playing with fire here in the late game.
I do want to point out the Uther did take his level 20. We will have the redemption, so a 3-minute cooldown, but the Uther does respawn after a few seconds after dying. I'm just checking really quickly. Yes, it is off a cooldown. Just want to make sure that didn't like somehow get triggered when he picked it and he was already dead. I don't think it works like that, but there are some talents like Commandeer Odin at level 20. If you take Big Red Button, you unlock it while you're in the Odin. It's not like one of those things where you have to wait for the next Odin, but what we're going to be doing is not waiting for Caesar Salad to die. Traitor King value just came in for Caesar Salad. Divine Shield onto Madara once again. Some good heals out from Legacy, but the Immortal phase is here. If I'm not mistaken, this is the 5th Immortal of the game.
Only Wailing Arrow used for the side of Diamond Hands for that surviving of the Anubarak. You have every other ultimate available, so 30k in a very dangerous situation here. They're far from home. They have lost both their forts now, so this is Diamond Hands territory. They know that some of the tools are gone for 30k. Expect Diamond Hands to be super aggressive here and just completely bully 30k off the Immortal.
And the bullying does come through, as you're mentioning. Cure takes a shotgun shogun into the face right there. A lot of good damage from his brother Genji. Caesar Salad once again getting chunked. Has the Nerubian armor and these hardened carapace at 1 and 4. The X-Strike onto Uther. Now, you can see the golden swirl around Uther's head. He will respawn in a few seconds, so he's going to try and spam as much healing in the ghost form. He's back right now, back into mortal form. Still 175 second cooldown onto that ability. Redemption, but now Stormbolt, Rewind, Skullcracker, damage. Will the Traitor King come through this time? Seems like Anubrak is fine once again. We are in this kill the tank meta, but we seemingly can't kill the tank. I do want to point out the core on the right side is dying. Sylvanas left clearing the core, which is taking 22% damage already. Looks like the catapults are pushed far enough back, but man, oh man, does the late game of Battlefield feel tense here in this first map in the second best of 5 of the day between 30k and Diamond Hands.
And while that felt tense with the Anubrak's HP, if that were not the case, that would have been damage taken by the Immortal, and 30k might have actually been able to get the entire objective for themselves there. So Diamond Hands surviving on the Anubrak, just barely defending their core. They're very, very happy with that, as they now get to reset and look for another engage. They still have the Knights pushing top for a little bit. We'll see if Diamond Hands can fish for an engage. They are on a bit of a timer for 30k. No Dragon Arrow for Hanzo for 20 seconds. That's the only cooldown not available. This fight is likely to be just an absolute bloodbath when the teams start really committing to it.
Nubrak's looking for an angle over here. There's a Wailing Arrow. That's the green light for Nubrak to go in, but he does not land the CC that he's looking for. The Immortal is going to be raced down. Cure is immediately cocooned by Caesar Salad. Oh, this is... I don't know if 30k can really defend. I mean, the Immortal has 1,311 HP. A couple shurikens here will be enough, and there's no way they can race against this. There's no way 30k gets 7k damage. But speaking of damage, catapults on the bottom right lane are going to be popping some of that shielding, but it doesn't get any extra damage. Genji gets the clear onto that one. The Immortal, as always, goes to the more well-defended lane, so that's going to be in top lane. Has a decent shield right now, and I'm going to look at the total health pool and all that kind of stuff. Right now, about a shield pool of 6,000. Total health is 30,000, so we're looking at 36,000 roughly of shielding and HP, and the Immortal also deals over 2,100 damage into structures. This keep shall fall, unless 30k can make some insane defense happen.
And as soon as the keep goes down, that's kind of the signal for Diamond Hands to look for an engage. They don't have Cocoon for 10 seconds, and they don't have Wailing Arrow, so they might, just because of that, choose not to. But this is still a pretty healthy Immortal that's pushing onto the core, so we'll likely see them try to look for an engage. If they get it, they'll end the game. If not, they might just leave, and you get the double X-Strike, but it might not be enough.
Uh-oh. Genji goes down. The Immortal's still dealing decent damage to the core. They need to take care of this Immortal. Anubrak will fall. 50-some% of the core. The Immortal has fallen. That's going to be Sylvanas to go down as well. 40% left on the core. They're going to try and go for this. There's 30% left on the core. 33% Nintori wants this but can't do it. It's a pentakill for the side of 30k. They rush through bottom and they take map number 1. The GGs are already flowing out in the in-game chat.
a tragic ending for Diamond Hands. You see, the X Strike's still available. That's how the resets went, but he was unable to get them off. Just gets CC'd and deleted on Genji for the Rutzo playing the Genji. A very close attempt there, 31%. If it had gone a little bit differently, maybe if they were slightly more patient with the engage, waited for those ultimates to be up, the Wailing Arrow specifically, maybe they could have taken it, but a very clean defense by 30k. They held through the early game to the mid game. A little bit difficult there at the end. Diamond Hands almost making their way back into the game, but you love watching the game end like that on core. You hate it if you're Diamond Hands, but just as a spectator, it's cool seeing both the cores take a ton of damage.
I'm blown away by this first game here, Justin. I gotta be honest. Like, I know you're in the game with us and you're gonna still have more analysis to have, but like, it's crazy to me when we look at these stats. Like, Legacy's healing is half that of Heavy's, but we also look at like Rutzo's damage versus Cure's damage. And we get in this conversation, actually it was something that you brought up in the previous series. There was, I think it was Oxygen had like the most damage but the least amount of kills. I think it was on Dragonshire actually. And we get in this conversation, it's something that Casanova brought up ages ago during season 1 or 2 of CCL when we were casting together. Effective damage versus just damage done or poke damage, and we're really seeing that. Like, Cure had a lot of poke damage. He did have some effective damage, but it's when you look at Genji, that's 72,000. He was confirming kills. Genji was 5 and 5 kills, 5 assists. He nearly was 100% kill participation. He wasn't there for a singular kill. So it's just one of those things that I do have to point out as we look at these stats. It's just really good back and forth here between Diamond Hands and 30k. This does not look like any sort of quick 3-0 series. I really do think that the members of Diamond Hands could take a map 2, maybe even 3 off of 30k. What do you think here, Justin? As I'm sure you got some analysis and thoughts as to what happened in Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, 30k definitely not going to be super confident, even though they won that last map. Diamond Hands, with a composition that didn't cater well to the map at all, you could tell that they needed to do so much to be able to get any amount of value because of the objective. 30k can just constantly whittle away at it. The burden of execution is entirely on Diamond Hands. And in the late game, once they get their abilities to have the talents to actually facilitate that, they were able to do it. They had the better execution, they just failed the core attempt. So Diamond Hands can't be too upset with that. On a different map, I think with the same type of comp, it should work really well for them. And especially Nintori at level 20 with the Urel, he had nearly perfect the cleansing of himself. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but the self-cleanse, the 10-second cooldown, the Seraphine, I think, that was perfect. He basically dodged every single stun on him at level 20. You had Rutzo, who got the Zarya first band against him and made did so much value on the Genji into an Uther, which should be kind of the counter. It should be, oh, they picked Uther, we don't even want to play Genji. Rutzo didn't care. Rutzo picked Genji. He looked really strong on it. And if you're forcing a first ban, and then you can also play Genji and get this much value on it in a game where you shouldn't really be getting much value at all, that might be another ban that they need to worry about. So I'm really excited to see how the series progresses. 30k controlled most of the early game, controlled most of the mid game, but Diamond Hands, with the exception of the very final fight where it did count and it was the most important fight, with the exception of just this one moment, they played the late game nearly perfectly to be able to, mount that comeback and nearly win the game. So 30k, it's not going to be smooth sailing for them, even though they are the favorite, and even though it's the first seed versus the 4th seed, Diamond Hands definitely coming to play.
Diamond Hands coming to play, and we've got the gorgeous Grubby back in the mix. How you doing, bud? You doing all right? We got you leveled out? Yes, yeah. The cutest casters here.
Yeah, well, 3rd cutest, but that's still top 3. Yes. But I'm just glad to be back and to catch the tail end of those replays. These days I have 2 internet connections, so if one screws me over, I've got a second. Yeah, entirely different ones as well, because usually in the Netherlands, well, you have different providers, but over the same cable. But now there's 2 cable networks, so yeah. Paying twice, but able to have a bug be circumvented with switching to the other one. So hopefully everything is going to be fine. That looked like a great game. I'm very sorry to mostly miss that one. 31%. Oh, that's a heartbreaker.
It is. That's a hardcore, and that hardcore to kind of like look at and be like, oh, we were so close. But let's go ahead and check on where we're going to for our next map, I believe, in this series, as we're going to get everyone into the lobby. We've got 30k taking us to Infernal Shrines. This is we're going Diablo-based maps, which I'm liking quite a bit. As I've got stats for all of you at home, 30k on this map, Grubby, 5-0 on this map. Diamond Hands, 0-2.
GG.
Thank you, Grubby. You took the words out of my mouth. We might as well just go to map number 3 because stats are completely
Everything.
correct. They're not something we look at in a vacuum. They are completely always 100%. So either way, this is it's Infernal Shrines for map number 2. I'm excited about this one, Grubby. Thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. So 30k goes to the map where they're 5-0 and the other team is 0-2. Obviously, that's a power play. They got the map choice given to them and they knew exactly what they wanted out of it. Preparation is here. It's always important for top teams to also be prepared. Besides just, kind of kicking behind with their mechanics and their comeback mechanics and their core saves at 31% and whatnot. So really good job to pick this map. Let's see if Diamond Hands can do a fortune reversal. They looked, for the most part, from what I saw, very good on map number 1, and much better perhaps than expected, with Ratso's Genji taking particular praise from you, Justin.
Yeah, I'm excited too for this series just in general. I'm happy and proud of the teams for their bans and picks. I'm glad that we got Sky Temple and Eltric banned away. Those are probably my least favorite 2 maps, and that they've picked BOE and Shrines. These are my favorite 2 maps, so I'm enjoying just the map picks already, so I hope this one goes the distance, because it seems like both teams have different strengths and weaknesses that are really becoming just more obvious while they face against each other, and we'll see whether the playstyles switch up too after the last game, because Diamond Hand's composition was super hard to play, and they nearly made it work with the 31% core. 30k's composition was a lot easier to play, and out until they were losing the late game, they were getting engaged on and losing to Diamond Hand's execution, so it could definitely go both ways right now. I'm not convinced that this will be a quick series by any means.
I'm hoping it's not going to be a quick series by any means, because we had 5 games earlier. The 10 game, the belief that the 10 games will happen. I'm right there with you, Twitch chat. I want them as well, and we're actually getting everyone into lobby. I think we've got everyone into lobby, so we're going to get ourselves into Infernal Shrines map number 2 in the second best of 5 of the day between 30k versus Diamond Hands. And of course, Grubby, want to get your thoughts on the potential here, because we haven't heard from you in a little bit, and I want to get your thoughts if we can get your big brain to break down Infernal Shrines for these 2 teams.
This may be a hot take, and
Yes.
don't at me in chat, and I hope you guys won't argue with me, but
Never.
I do believe we have the potential here for a fantastic HoTS esports game.
Can't believe you said that.
Yeah,
Fight me, bro.
we might have to go to a commercial break. I don't even know what to say at this point. Like,
I'm basing this on history of the past game here. Like, it's not that crazy when you think about it. We could just have another game like that.
You just might be right.
I think you're very, very right, Grubby, actually. Yeah, I wouldn't even argue with you on this one, but I do think that Diamond Hands came well matched into 30k. I also do think that Rutso having low to, I wouldn't say no, but very low ping, as Rutso is playing in NA, as we mentioned earlier, if any of you might have missed it. So he is on central ping, and he's probably low ping on that as well. So I am expecting to see these flashy heroes, and he did really, really good in the Genji. Personally, though, I would have liked to see him on just so many other assassins instead, Grubby. Like Genji's cool and all, but I feel like just like a Greymane for some Dark Flight, like jumping in, or even Raynor with sustained damage and Banshee or something like that. Like, I'm not sold on the Genji from that last game.
You go on low ping, and you want to play Raynor?
Yeah, Jimmy right click, man. You see, here's the thing. As I said, Grubby, I've been casting and playing a lot of StarCraft 2. You need the micro for the Banshee. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, it's true. And Raynor's a little harder than sometimes maybe given credit, but he's also not that good.
No.
Sorry, I said it.
No, he's not that good. I think there's so many other options than a Genji right there, and I'm still, we've seen a lot of Genji this season, Justin, and I'm just not really sold on him. He's good, but he's just, feel like there's a better option. Anyways,
you won't see him here. You won't see him here, but I think
not.
There's a place for him. Like, he's great on Sky Temple, BOE.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but it kind of worked out. They made it so close. But on Infernal, I doubt we'll see a Genji. You need that big splash damage, and 30k is bringing it with the double Terran dynamic duo of an Odin and a Blaze.
Oh, we're just going to get a StarCraft draft from 30k as more StarCraft heroes pop up. We got the Dahaka and the Anduin. No tank being shown here, Justin. Any thoughts on the draft as we're getting into the ban phase?
Yeah, so we have Blaze Tychus picked up by 30k. That's the same thing that Wildheart picked that made it so that Oxygen in the previous series pretty much just gave every single objective until level 20. We'll see if the Blaze and Tychus is that oppressive here by 30k. Odin from Tychus is just ridiculous on the shrines. It lasts so long that you don't really have the option to wait it out on the shrine, because by the time it's done, the shrine is usually done, and you can't really zone him away. The Genji's definitely not going to be seen here on Infernal Shrines, because from 30k's perspective, it was so strong that they need to ban it here. So we'll see what else Rutzo's got in store for us as the flex for the team. The Sylvanas probably won't be played by him, but it still could be. It's still flexible. And Nintori getting his signature Dahaka. Heavy, a lot of experience on the Anduin as well, so just a lot of comfort right now. But as soon as Anduin's picked, the main thing that my brain kind of goes to is he going to get ditched? Is he going to get left behind? Because all the shrines are in the middle of the map. There's no objective that's going to be close to your base. If you lose your forts, you're a long way from home. And that's been something that I've noticed quite a bit with Anduin is if you start losing fights, he gets left behind. So on these bigger maps where the objective is really far from structures, if you aren't able to continue a snowball and keep all your forts alive, it gets very difficult into the late game. And we'll see if 30k picks anything that can kind of punish that.
I'm reading in between the lines here, Justin, and so you said Snowball, so obviously it's a May for Diamond Hands. Got it, okay. Lucio and Anubarak will be I hope to honest to God not to see May. I mean, like, Muradin would be way better here. Garrosh would be better here. She feels so weak when it comes to tanks.
You just have seen too many fake avalanche, like bad avalanches. People are icing in, then die while missing the avalanche. Like
Yes, you are correct. You are correct in that. I have seen a lot of those failures.
No.
Hanzo Varian. I gotta get your thoughts here, Justin, because we're getting into the last pick. It's gonna be a Cure pick, maybe a Thrall, maybe a Zeratul.
It is Cure, so anything is possible. This is a situation where the Imperious could be okay. Thrall's still available. Kind of the typical picks. They do have Tychus, so they don't really need a % damage or a tank killing melee. It is the Chromie, so likely we'll see Cure playing the Tychus, as Madara is pretty known for his Chromie. That's kind of the expectation. Tychus is going to be just playing front to back, but into a Varian, it's very difficult. Now, Varian, Caesar Salad is going to have to make a relatively difficult decision about whether he wants to go with the parry and just be relatively invincible against Tychus, or if he wants to go with the Protect and be able to also be invincible against Chromie, but more vulnerable to Tychus. So it's kind of a weird matchup. In general, Varian does really well into Tychus. It's really the best tank into Tychus that you can pick, because you have that evasion. So both teams have a lot of things going for them, but 30k has a lot better just shrine clear in general. Sylvanas and Hanzo, not quite the same reliability as an Odin and a Chromie. When those two things are on the shrine is basically off limits. So with the global from Dahaka and the Sylvanas with the ability to disable forts and structures, the expectation is that Diamond Hands has to try to kind of play some macro game, maybe look to play for a level 20 fight, similar to what we saw from Oxygen. But in this game, in this comp, they don't have a scary Archon to rely on with the level 20. They don't have any really ridiculous level 20 to rely on. And I'm expecting Liam from 30k is going to go with the bunker upgrade, so it might not be so one-sided at level 20. It's going to be an uphill battle for Diamond Hands, I think, with the draft. They shouldn't win the shrine fights, and I don't see them just drastically outscaling into the late game. So it looks like it should be a 30k win, unless Diamond Hands can have just perfect execution and do some weird flanks and dives.
We'll see if that'll be the case. I actually lost my pen on my desk. I was going to mark down a 30k win as well, but I'll have to do that later because we have got our game loaded on in. We've got Liam on the Blaze, Kira on the Tychus, Legacy on the Lucio, Madara on the Chromie and Cattle to play the Anubarak. Over on the side of Diamond Hands, we got Hebi on the Anduin, Nintori on the Dahaka, yeah boy, on the Hanzo, and Caesar Salad on the Varian, Rutzo on the Sylvanas. While we were loading in here, Grubby, I had a realization. I don't know if there's really anything to do with Temporal Loop. Yes, they do have Burrow from the Dahaka and a Leap of Faith from Anduin, but this could be a Temporal Loop game. You force the Leap of Faith from Anduin, you Temporal Loop somebody besides Dahaka, and then you just kill them.
Will of the Forsaken, Haunting Wave, Bolt. Then there's the Shield Wall at level 10, if he wants to go for it. Dahaka Burrow, and 2 Leaps of Faith. And she shouldn't be able to Temporal Loop Hanzo, generally. So it does feel like there's a decent amount against it. But you can also use Temporal Loop to pull a defensive cooldown. If that's what you're using it for. And, honestly, I think Temporal Loop is so good, even when you get 0 follow-up damage on the Temporal Loop target. because for 5 seconds, it's 500% basic ability CDR.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, on any hero, that's crazy. On a burst mage like Chromie, also, that's crazy. So it is a very powerful ability. The question will be, will Slowing Sands be more desired? Because Temporal will never be a bad ult, even against literally 20 cleanses. It will still be good.
Yeah.
But Slowing Sands can be extremely impactful.
Absolutely, like the Bush Nintori just went through. You put a Slowing Sands there, and you can kind of control one of the engagement routes, or even look at Top Shrine. So it's one of those things. Like, yeah, it's Slowing Sands. It's a very good, as Justin has labeled it, a goalie tool or a gatekeeping tool in a sense. In Here's the Storm. We'll just have to see how the level 8 for Chromie does come through. She also does have the spell power at level 1, as well as the time trap, arming cooldown, and you also have the vision from that Time Walker's Pursuit. Invade under the camp, brush talk in from Nintori. That's going to be a drag onto Cattle, and a grenade will stop the drag from happening. Caesar Salad is taking a lot of damage. Cure dashes forward. Lucio with some sustained damage. Big scatter from Hanzo. Chunks into Legacy, and Overwatch, well, Lucio has to back away. Overwatch hurting Overwatch.
Did you see when Taunt got picked? His health got chunked upwards.
Oh, I didn't actually. I wasn't looking at Varian at the moment.
Yeah, Varian was like 500 health, and he picked Taunt, and then it was like 900. It gives 40% health, so if the law of constants is true, if the percentage of current health remains consistent, then it would make sense that if he's on 500 health and he gets 40% extra, that he would be on 700 afterwards. It looked like it was even more, but it's hard to tell with regenerating health bars. And maybe he took a simultaneous heal from Anduin. But this was a case where 3.9 level Varian was nearly dying, and he's like spamming his level up button. He's like, okay, I got Taunt, I'm cool. He got a big chunk of health. It was like a healing potion, even though Varian is always like, no potions. But he survived there, so... have we evaluated yet who has the better shrine fight? Who's got the more splash damage?
I don't think we've actually gone like in depth on it. I think Justin did mention it a little bit here, but please, by all means, Grubby.
Grenade from Tychus, Odin from Tychus, Chromie splash damage, and Blaze splash damage. That's 3. Anubarak and Lucio don't have much. Then it's against Dahaka and Sylph and Hanzo with the Q build. And that's about it. And Varian and Anduin don't have much. But between the two tanks, I think Anubarak does a little bit more total damage, but Varian does more single target damage. So Varian is like better at stealing one skeleton, and Anubarak is better at prepping skeletons for splash, which anyone could steal. And besides like who has more splash damage, sometimes it's also about who's got more directly cast, like fast splash damage. Because fast splash damage that you can like throw out and immediately deal can steal skeletons. So Blaze is like quite slow. So Blaze can start to prep a wave, and then someone can steal it with a shot, like a Hanzo Q. Yeah. Whereas, a grenade is instant from Tychus.
Yeah.
So overall, I do think, and Dahaka is slow as well. Overall, I do think that 30k has a bit better shrine fight.
30k is gonna nice sidestep from Cure. Actually, not gonna get hit with the drag. There's the slowing sands as we were talking about earlier. Varian's gonna get chunked by three sets of sand artillery. And still 23-2 in Skeletal Defenders favoring the side of 30k. Blaze did go answer the Sylvanas and Dahaka split push. I do really like how 30k is playing this. They're not going super quick on the objective phase, which is allowing Blaze to deal with the Sylvanas and the Dahaka. And also, we'll be pulling in some experience for the allied team. Though, as I say all this, Tychus will finish out the objective, and we're going to be seeing our first Punisher, Arcane Punisher, going through the top lane. When we take stock... Oh, they're going to 39 it. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Invade into the camp? No.
Yeah. 39ing can be nice if you're trying to wait for level 10, but they had a quick conference, and they decided that they are not going to 39 it, they're going to 40 it. Now they're pushing with it, because they felt like, hey, maybe Sylvanas Dahaka will do more if we delay. Because basically better split map macro for Diamond Hands.
Now, camp in mid, Blaze, Sylvanas, and Dahaka, are all brawling out a bit. 10 talents here, a little right around the corner for the members of 30k. I'm just waiting to see what they actually pick up here. Pretty common heroics across the board. I don't expect a combustion from Blaze. This should be bunker. I actually got to cast a combustion game this past weekend.
I'm sorry for you.
It's like a cool talent. It does some cool stuff, but it's just lackluster by comparison of like what Bunker actually offers. The upgrade at level 20 for Bunker as well. As we do
I thought you would like it because it's like Cho'Gall twisting nether.
No, I'm sorry. Blaze is not Cho'Gall. I see what you mean. I see the thread of logic, but no, sorry.
Yeah.
Bunker's
right.
cool, but also like the utility of Bunker is really cool. The upgrade, as I mentioned, at level 20 is huge with the fortified Bunker, and even then, like, you can drop Bunker at core and just siege into the actual Nexus or the core really well. Like 5 members inside a Bunker spamming Q really does deal significant siege.
Yeah, but is Bunker spontaneous? Because I feel like
Oh, no,
combustion is a lot more spontaneous.
Grubby.
Oh my god.
What am I gonna do with you?
God.
What am
That
I
was
gonna
such
do
a
with you?
stretch.
What am I gonna
was
do with you?
such-
I loved it personally. It took me a hot second, but I'm like, that's clever. I like that. That was good. Nintori will get.
Is it really
Yes.
clever? I don't know.
Yes.
Well, I gotta talk about something while both teams are watching the cat out of the tree. That's a proverb in Dutch. When both are not doing anything to help or do anything, like there's a cat in the tree, you gotta fix the problem. Are you a fireman with a ladder? No. You have no courage, you don't like climbing trees. Okay, let's just watch until the problem fixes itself. Watching the cat out of the tree. That's what the Haka could do here. Will he help Sylvanas? Sylvanas is in a cocoon.
Isolation connects on the Blaze. Huge arrow from Hanzo as well. Rutzo with the short distance haunting wave, but Tychus has the grenade for the snipe. A kill, a second kill for the side of 30k. But Grubby, I posed this question to you. What if I have a ladder and I'm not a firefighter? Can I save a kitten from a tree?
You could, and you
Okay.
would not be watching the cat out of the tree. You'd
Okay.
be taking destiny into your own hands and saving the cat. What a hero. And I do believe you are that type of person.
I got a little giant. It's a big ladder, but it's easy to carry around. Anyways, they fold out massively. This is in the top lane. I do want to point out Dahaka pushing back the Blaze. Blaze Liam is trying to constantly push up these waves into the fort. Our next objective will be in the bottom lane. I was just about to say, like, we are very close to when the shrine activates. So 20 seconds on that. A slight experience advantage to 30k by about a quarter of a level, but my expectation is that we should see Diamond Hands able to close that gap. They might be late to the objective doing so, but still, I think Diamond Hands can contest.
I do think they can as well, yes. And let's see how it is going to be going. There's several ways for Diamond Hands to engage outside of the shrine as well. If they don't think that they can fight while they're on it, a big arrow on the back line, it kind of angled away Hanzo. But it's constantly 30k that makes the first play. They're doing these cocoons on Sylvanas.
Yeah.
That's a big counter-engage arrow. That has to be a win for Diamond Hands. There's no way that it's not. What?
Or is it?
Oh.
I can't believe. I think the Wailing Arrow was just shy of Legacy. I don't think he got silenced by
Yep.
that because I think
No,
he
he
did
didn't.
push off. Yeah, so that was super close. Like maybe a quarter, half a second earlier on the Wailing Arrow would have locked down Legacy. Maybe even get the kill with the damage provided. I'm curious actually. Wailing Arrow does 380 at the center. I'm not 100% sure what Lucio's health was, but he might have fallen. Either way.
It was less than 500, but I don't know that it was less than 400. And I don't think Wailing could have come earlier. It depends. We'll see.
Yeah, well, something we can check on the VOD as well. But Tychus actually just goes for wave clear in bottom while this top lane siege is going to be stopped. What is it? The 2 towers have gone down. The gate's the only thing available. I actually like this call from Cure.
Yeah, he stops the skeletons. He's like, there's no way you'll make up a 25 skeleton deficit, so just gonna start wave clearing. Okay.
Nubrak also has the Mad Lads, as we also like to call them, or the Burning Beetles, or the Burning Legion, I think it is? Burning Beetles, actually, from level 13, which also does help clearing out the objective phase. As you had mentioned, there's a lot of grouping of the Skeletal Defenders around like a Nubrak. He spawns a Beetle that gets some AoE damage. Interesting call from 30k. They're going to split with the objective. They have Dahaka is pushing in top lane. A Nubrak's poking in through the bottom. But this is a mid lane fort that shall fall.
And this is an interesting choice by Rutzo. Kind of what he's been playing for a long time. It's double E Sylvanas. Not going for the safe out of attack range at level 13, but going for the double E. Now, there's a lot of risk in it. You E into an enemy team thinking you can just E out, and you could be feeding a lot. But if you pepper them with a Wailing Arrow first that actually connects, maybe even under the guise of your own E, so you E in and Wailing at the same time, then you can come out, safe. And you can do over 50% damage on a whole enemy team if they're clustered up. It is a build with great potential, with grievous risk if it goes wrong.
Oh, wait, hold on. That's a Nubarak with the double CC onto Hanzo. He's got no ability to back away, and he does go down. And Tori, who was chunked earlier, still very low. Light Bomb from the Anduin self-cast. Bunker from Blaze stops the stun from happening. Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas. Here comes the Varian. He wants the taunt. Also does have the healing reduction from level 13, and that kill will solidify 16 talent tier for Diamond Hands. But in bottom lane, another fort shall fall. A trade to be had through top, though. As we look at our next Punisher in the future, Frozen Punisher mid, beneficial to the side of, of 30k. As I mentioned in the previous series, 30k does have that retreat path to the mid lane fort. They still have their well available. The resources on the side of Diamond Hands are starting to dwindle quite a bit, as we do have that Varian level 10. He does have the shield wall to stop any incoming damage. How long is it? It's 1.5 seconds? 1 sec. I'm trying to
1.25 seconds.
Okay. So 1.25 seconds.
Sorry, the stunt. It's actually.
Oh, it's 1.25. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's also 1.25. Okay, yeah, 1.25 seconds.
I thought I looked at the wrong tooltip as well. I was like, wait a minute, did I? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. It's an easy way to remember. They're the same.
Russell went to go get some mana because he was nearly out.
Dahaka still clearing out bottom lane. Hanzo going to start working on a camp. Varian anchoring for the team. On the left-hand side, 30k to do the exact same thing, so not a lot of hobbies on the map, and we're waiting for our next objective, which, if I'm not mistaken, shouldn't be far off from the announcement.
It can't be far off at all. Must be closing in. And Diamond Hands actually takes such an early bruiser camp, which is interesting. To what end? I'm trying to think. Why would they take it that early? Maybe to reset the timing earlier for next time? Mm-hmm. Maybe because they know that 30k is holding and they want to... No, I don't know. There's nothing else to do on the map. It feels just like a mistake. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is why you don't take bruiser that early. You're in Liam.
Clearing
it
cleared,
for free.
yeah.
Their own is safe.
And this will be the Fallen Shaman from the side of 30k now moving into lane, which is going to cause a problem because the Shrine's activating in mid in the next 5 seconds. So there's that ticking time bomb that is the Fallen Shaman in top. Caesar Salad just charging in. No cooldown reduction, so that's going to be still the 12-second cooldown on charge. He's about 4 seconds away on that one. Hanzo poking in, sealing some of these skeletal defenders. Here comes the big bad Odin. What happens? Ooh, top.
Oh my god. There goes double E Sylvanas. He was really far away, too far from Anduin to be saved.
And now Dahaka's a new target. Jet Propulsion reads the burrow so very well. Some scatters coming out. The light bomb onto Heavy doesn't do what he's looking for. Yeah, boy! Getting chased around by Legacy. I don't think that Hanzo actually gets out of this one alive. No, I don't think this is game here because we still have gates available. But Blaze will work on the objective, and the rest of 30k will open up the map, trying to confirm map number 2. You can even see, look at Cattle's positioning. He wants to go straight from this keep front gate onto the wall. That burrow charge is intentional, ladies and gentlemen, because he wants to spawn a beetle.
Yeah, exactly. Every skill that Anubarak casts spawns a beetle, which will help to tank and attack the fort. Even when you don't go for the full beetle build, that's still true. Baseline kit. So now they have level 20. They're starting on the core before the Punishers here. You said GG and took it back, but I think you were safe to keep it probably.
I was worried about caster cursing a team. I'm trying my best not to do that this weekend, but we'll have to see. So Punisher's here, core shielding's down, respawns are coming through. Hanzo up in 6 seconds. Jump from the Punisher is going to be eaten by the burrow of Dahaka. Really good utilization of the talent right there. Light bomb from Anduin I don't think comes through. Tychus goes down, but it doesn't matter because that's all she wrote on the core of Diamond Hands. 30k takes another map in our second best of 5 of the day. GG. Well played. This game looked a lot more... What's the word? The word eludes me right now, but this is...
Tilted, one-sided.
Not one-sided, but like 30k,
Decisive.
Decisive. Thank you very much. Decisive is the word here from 30k because it's 7-2 in kills. It's not like last game where we saw some waffling back and forth, Genji getting into the back line, some of these kills, things looking a little sketchy towards the end. This was 30k in the driver's seat for, I would say, 90% of the game. Maybe there was 1 or 2 moments, but overall adjusting, this was a 30k decisive victory.
Yeah, and this is a game where this is kind of we're seeing in this game where Diamond Hands was getting fought there before level 20 and losing 4 members and actually losing the game before they're even able to get level 20. We're seeing from this game why Oxygen was giving all the objectives against a similar composition in the previous series when Oxygen was holding out against Wildheart and just splitting and never fighting them for any of them, just giving every objective. That's pretty much what Diamond Hands would need to do in this game, try to get a level 20 fight. And we see why Oxygen did that in the previous series, because in this one, they stray too far from home, they get the 4 picks. 30k is able to have that timed alongside with getting the level 20 advantage. They have Blaze just finish off the objective and then come push, and just a decisive core call. We saw even Cattle killing the sidewall because they knew immediately as soon as the kills happened that was what they were going for. But Diamond Hands composition also needed to try to win the objective before level 10, and they needed to try to play for picks before level 10. Caesar Salad a little bit too far from home as a pre-level 4 variant without the taunt. Diamond Hands, when they didn't get the first objective, pre-10, that was a very worrying sign, because post-10, there's going to be a very long window where it's nearly impossible for Diamond Hands to win any 5v5s on the Shrine against 30k. Between Chromie and Tychus, they're kind of the gold standard for what you want in these range that control space between the Odin and the Chromie. You have clocks, you have slowing sands, you have Odin spells, you have Chromie spells. It's just too much stuff in these chokes, too much stuff everywhere. Diamond Hands really needed to get some kind of picks, and they do get a pick here, but unfortunately it's traded on the other side of the map, and they don't siege that well between these heroes. They have some siege, and they do end up trading structures, but it's just a trade. And in a 5v5 on the Shrine, it's nearly impossible. 30k's composition was a lot stronger for that. Diamond Hands, in order to win a fight, really needed to just get a huge wombo combo onto the backline, and 30k was playing a little bit too spread out to make that possible. So really well played by 30k, spacing themselves properly to not allow that to happen. Varian, if he just taunts one target, is going to get high-fived by the Lucio. It's not going to be enough. So if 30k is able to kind of create this space between each of them, make sure they don't get too close together at any point, make sure they don't get AoE wombo comboed, which they never did outside of that one-time mid where there wasn't enough follow-up, then 30k just basically steamrolls through the enemy, and we saw it put on full display there. 30k ending when some teams maybe wouldn't do. So decisive in the shot calling, decisive in the way they play the fights. I think they had a much better draft, and they just took it and ran with it. So we'll see if Diamond Hands can bring it back. I think a lot of that game was a massive draft mismatch for the map specifically, and now after 2 games, that's sort of a worrying trend for Diamond Hands.
Well, we, just like as always, are going to be entering into our 3rd game in just a moment, but of course we always like to let the players stretch their legs, get a glass of water, and maybe kind of think about what they want to do getting into this map number 3. As we saw in the previous series, there was a little bit of rallying after the first break, so we'll see if that'll be happening for Diamond Hands. As we're in this break, I encourage you to hit a specific command in chat, !prize pool. That'll get you over to the match arena, and if you would like to push the prize pool even further, I have seen your generosity today, chat. We have broken $14,500. We're at $14,505, so if you'd like to push that even further, I do appreciate these. We all appreciate the support with !prize pool. And as one more thing to note on top of the prize pool, there has been a change on the split. There is no longer any sort of split between the players, the orgs and players and Wisdom. It is 100% to the players, and Wisdom will be adding in another $10,000 at the end of the season. So if you'd like to push the prize pool further, if you'd like to support these teams, be sure to use !prize pool in chat. But when we come back, map number 3 between 30k and Diamond Hands. Don't go anywhere. This is HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. My name's Bahamut, joined by Grubby and Justing. And you know, Justing, I feel like it would be unfair of me to ask these questions earlier and never ask you. So of course, what's your favorite bug?
Like grubs. And the big fish that lives in the world, I think it's called the Bahamut or something. I looked it up. I was wondering what your name meant.
Leviathan?
It's like a huge fish. I think that's what your name is, right? It's like a gigantic fish that lives in the earth or something.
I am a huge fish. This is just really good FX from Wisdom right now. I'm just a giant fish. I'm not actually a bearded man.
Is it a dragon?
I thought it was like a water serpent or something, right? I don't know. I saw the picture on Wikipedia and it was just a big fish.
That's Leviathan, I think. Which is a summon
swear
from
I
Final
looked it
Fantasy VII. That's where my name comes from. But
in his natural form, Bahamut was a massive dragon, approximately 180 feet, with a tail the same length as his body, with platinum scales, tougher than any shield. You're platinum, nice.
There's a platinum dragon from I think that's the Dungeons and Dragons version, but mine comes from Final Fantasy VII specifically because when I was a kid, I watched so much of it. It was my favorite summon as well. Either way, let's talk about HeroesCCL because we are ready to go into another map for our second best of 5 of the day of 30k versus Diamond Hands, and it will be Diamond Hands, the losing team, opting for map pick priority here, and it's going to be Dragonshire for map number 3. Of course, as always, I like to give some stats for everyone at home and for you two as well. So Grubby, 30k, sit 1-0 on this map, and the members of Diamond Hands sit 1-1. Obviously, like I said for the last map, stats are just are purely the answer to everything. There's no questioning the stats at all. So I think this is easily a 30k win, but I want to get your thoughts here for Dragonshire as well.
66% chance with a 1-0 against 1-1.
Okay.
For 30k to win. That's mathematically and scientifically correct. Very low exposure so far on the map. Now, what we can tell you about Dragonshire is that mid-wave actually matters a lot. It gives a lot of information, whether you are going to get ganked top or bottom. Now, you may just say, just play exceedingly safe. If you are alone in a solo lane, just always expect/pretend that they really are coming for you. But if you do play like that without actually knowing, just playing safe, then you can never step up and take the temple. If you can never take the temple, you'll lose both, because the same will be true in the bottom. So actual information is really important. And it also helps a lot if you have heroes that can jump away and teleport away, so that if you do get ganked by 1, 2, 3, 4 people, that you can still try to get away. So off the premium on Dragonshire are top solo laners that are very safe at getting away. Take for instance a Zul, very popular pick in the lower leagues to do double lane rotations, clear a wave, make skellies, mount up, go to the next wave, clear skellies. And that sounds really good, but he has no escape, does he? He's got a little bit of a bone armor that can maybe dodge auto attacks, but no bonus movement speed, no teleports. This is why the top laners are heroes like Blaze, Ogre, and Dahaka.
I do love the Rexars coming in every so often for the top lane control. Level 13 can be huge as well with the aspect of Hawk, and you can outplay a lot of solo laners with that as well. We did, just to be clear with everyone at home, we were about to get into the game, but there was a small little lobby bug, so we are getting some resets going because the lobby bug just kind of spiraled out of control. So we're getting some resets going in. We're going to get a new lobby for Dragonshire, but we can continue talking about our anticipation for these two teams here, Justin, because we've talked about top lane, but is there something that Diamond Hands, in the last 2 games you've seen, is there something that Diamond Hands could do with maybe their ranged assassins, their damaged? Because it feels like in a lot of these fights, they're so close to getting a kill, but they just can't solidify it. Is there something in the draft that they need? Or was that just mostly, as you had mentioned, the draft blunder of map number 2?
I think a lot of it is kind of the play style, and that the first 2 maps haven't really catered towards what Diamond Hands has been trying to do. On Battlefield of Eternity, they picked a really dive-focused composition, which is definitely the more difficult way to play the map when you're against something like Poke on Battlefield of Eternity. Every time you go for an engage, you're losing objective health. And in the last game, they had a Varian composition with mostly a pick comp with the Varian, with the taunt, and into Lucio, and on a Shrine with just a bunch of zone control. They couldn't really get in and do what their comp wants to do. This is a map that really does cater towards dive, things like the Genji and the Anubarak that we saw in the first game, things like in the last game, the Varian with a pick composition. Those things thrive on Dragonshire, so while Diamond Hand's first 2 drafts haven't really been what they exactly need for the map, if they draft a similar style, a pick composition type comp, or a dive comp like they had in game 1, maybe an early Genji pick, so that it doesn't get banned away in the second rotation here on Dragonshire, then Diamond Hands might be able to do it, but 30k, the team that I've said at the start of the season might have had too many chefs, too many cooks in the kitchen sort of thing. That's exactly what you want on Dragonshire because everyone needs to be their own shot caller all the time. So stylistically, 30k should have a pretty good advantage here just based off of that.
Well, thank you all for your patience as well at home and in the Wisdom Gaming Studios you're watching at the watch party, because we're here, ladies and gentlemen. You can hear that bop of a track pop in. That's going to mean that we are in draft for Dragonshire, and I'm excited to see this as we are waiting for just the lobby to get. We're waiting for players apparently. No, we're not. We're here into the bands. What?
I just had a thought for a new Blizzard mobile game. model it after EA's football managers. HoTS Manager 2023. And then you can put in different players on different maps. And synergy doesn't matter, right? Because they're just virtual characters with E points.
Yeah.
So then if you get to Dragonshire, you get many cooks in the kitchen. And then when you're on BOE, you don't. It'd be cool if they had like a swap player.
I thought the whole manager thing was just going to be trying to get players to get into a lobby and then all say ready. I thought that was going to be the real challenge of the game. But we have our lobby. We've got our bans coming through. 2 target bans onto healers for Legacy. Legacy's known for a great Brightwing. We saw him on the Lucio. Will this be a Stukov? Will he go into something like not Alex Straza, like Deckard Cain or even Uther? We'll have to see here, but it's going to be a first pick Justing Sylvanas.
Really not a fan of the support bans coming out from Diamond Hands, specifically on Dragonshire. This is a map where in the previous series we saw the very early prioritization onto Monk, and that was because it's good on the map and because it pairs so well with the Sylvanas with the potential for mind control into 7s, which was kind of initially made for this map. That was a composition that Oxygen back in the day used to play. And so this is not the map where the support bans are going to get quite as much value. Uther is strong here, Rhaegar is strong here. Pretty much the Rhaegar, Uther, and Monk, the supports that used to be the best back in the day that are just outclassed on most maps, are still really strong here because they're so self-reliant. Ones that are designed to save from a one-shot and just be really just well-rounded. You see the Monk picked up again super early by Diamond Hands. So 30k, the expectation is they'll be okay with getting either a Rhaegar or an Uther later on. They do pick up the Rhaegar. So the support bans seem somewhat wasted for the side of Diamond Hands, and that alone is making me lean a little bit into 30k, just already based off the draft.
Draft for 30k is so strong out the gate too. I mean, solo laner is flexibility for Liam. I mean, he can go Urel, Diva, Rexar, Imperius. That was the one thing I wanted to bring up next, is like, you can't really ban out Liam. Maybe you focus on something that you don't want to deal with Cure, and that is a target onto his Zeratul. And who can blame the side of Diamond Hands? This is a critical matchup. It's not tournament life, as this is a double elimination bracket, though the winner of this matchup goes up against Oxygen tomorrow. Loser of this matchup goes up against Wildheart Esports tomorrow. So still more matches to be had, but if you lose this series, you lose this game on the side of Diamond Hands, you're falling into that lower bracket. But a Falstad, nice ban out as well, Grubby. I really like the Falstad ban here.
I feel like Diamond Hands should take Thrall now, because I feel like Thrall kind of owns them. Like, Thrall's really good into Diablo and Anubarak. He's a little bit less good into Garrus and Murden and Varian. But into Anubarak and Karateem he's great. And you might want to go like Mass Melee as 30k, considering, again, you're against Anubarak, who doesn't do well into Mass Melee. I might be overselling or overbuilding this, but it's something I've noticed as well in my Anubarak games, is that it's really tough into Mass Melee. So if 30k goes like, okay, we're going to get our solo laner, let's say Blaze, which is still up.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, surprisingly. It could be Leo, but Leo loses to Dahaka, so let's say Blaze. And then they go backline, I'd be surprised. It is going to be the Thrall and Urel. Now you've got 4 frontline essentially, 3 real ones and 1 healer. It's super solid. Who do you all in as a Nubarak? Who do you cocoon? Will you destroy someone during the cocoon? Most likely not. So I would have loved to see Dahaka Thrall from Diamond Hands to prevent this exact situation. Now I'm leaning extremely heavily for 30k.
I would agree. I've actually already wrote down 30k to win this one. Rexar will be that last pick. I feel like Diamond Hands went way too heavy into the realm of the front line. Misha will provide a little bit more, but a hyper carry just on the Lunara is a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. So, you're gonna see this little DC right here. As I mentioned, we did have a lobby bug earlier, and so we're gonna get everyone who had any sort of lobby issues back into the game in just a second, so we apologize for the slight delay, but we are gonna be able to get back into this matchup in just a second. And we're not gonna go through the draft again, we'll just get everything set up here, and then we'll get everyone ready to go. So Justin, I'm sure you've got a lot of notes from this draft, so while we're getting everything set up, could you break down your thoughts on the Dragonshire draft between 30k and Diamond Hands?
So 30k's composition should just be better here on the map. You have Anubarak and Dahaka for Diamond Hands, which is going to be looking to isolate targets with the isolation and the cocoon, and then they have 7-sided strike. So that's kind of the main play for Diamond Hands, is to isolate people with those 2 forms of isolation, and then probably trying to get a cocoon onto Rhaegar or a Dahaka isolation onto Rhaegar, then one-shot somebody else. That's kind of the goal. The Rexar is really weird with this. I almost expected they might even go with something like a Maiev and look to just double down on the isolation and get a containment disc as well. I think that would have been a pretty good choice. But they didn't go with that. It would have been better into the melees as well, as now 30k has triple melee into the 7s. It will be much more difficult to actually isolate someone on the front line when there's 3 of them than there would be if there was just 2. Also, just as a small thing, Thrall has the option if he wants to stack into the Rexar. He can take the level 7, which we don't really see, but into Rexar there's an actual argument to be made for it. So depending how the setup is for Diamond Hands with the Dahaka and the Rexar, in what is expected to be kind of the bread of the Dragonshire game sandwich with the top and bottom, just solo laners in both lanes. Thrall, played by Cure, should have the option if he wants to go stacks, and that makes Rexar just have a lot less fun wherever he is. The bear can sit on the point and that's fine, but the bear sitting on the point and feeding infinite stacks to a Thrall is not fine. So we'll see if that's an adaptation that Cure makes. Even Sylvanas Madara could take the level 1 W talent and just farm off of the bear. There's a lot of things there with infinite stacking that the Rexar doesn't do well against. The main benefit of the Rexar is that he has the level 20 boars. That's most likely what Diamond Hands is playing for. They're playing for picks in the early game with their isolations, with the Anubarak, with the Dahaka, with the Global, with the 7-sided strike, and then their level 20 insurance would be the Rexar with the boars. But 30k has a lot of melees. They have a lot of easy value with the level 20 Ancestral, which should mostly counter the boar engage. They can just group up and Ancestral each other. They also have the triple melee against the 7s, so there's not enough isolation unless Nintori can hit a huge contagion at level 20. And they have a game sandwich too between Thrall and Yrel, played by Liam. So 30k seems to just mostly win on all fronts for the most part. Even Muradin into a Anubarak, it's a winning matchup for Muradin. And they all have mobility for the most part. Anyone who should get 7s has mobility to escape it. So it seems like 30k has pretty much covered everything that Diamond Hands would be looking to do with the drafts.
And even with the 7-sided strike, you can actually share the pain. Like, if Muradin's the one getting caught, Sylvanas can step in too, and she can take some of those attacks, because, if I'm not mistaken, 7-sided strike prioritizes the highest health pool hero inside the circle, so if everyone jumps in... Percentage, thank you, yes. So if everyone jumps in, you can kind of spread the pain or share the pain. But let's go ahead and jump into map number 3. Thank you, Justin, as always, for your analysis, and we've got 30k in the blue, looking to make a 3-0 happen. Liam on the Yrel, Cure on the Thrall, Legacy on the Rhaegar, Cattle on the Muradin, and the Madara to play the Sylvanas. Over on the side of Diamond Hands, we're going to be seeing Rutso on the Lunara. Yeah, boy! On the Dahaka. I realize that my windows are open in the house, so my neighbors must love me. Rexar to be played by Nintori, Misha to be played by Misha, Hebi hooting on the Karazim, and we got Caesar Salad on that, and Anubarak. Grubby, I feel like I always say this, but I hate calling a 3-0, but I feel like this is going to be a 3-0.
Yeah, it's likely. I think it's a super strong draft, and they are into Rexar in the 4-man, who will provide some vision, flare, 20-second duration, 20-second cooldown. It's pretty neat. And maybe for the purpose of it, just to see how effective it is, can we actually get some Diamond Hands only vision? Is that something that we can do with this observer overlay? No,
I don't think so, because usually it breaks the lock of our follower observer. Yeah, I've spent like hours outside of like CCL broadcasts to try and like figure out like maybe there's a Stream Deck combo button. No, there isn't, unfortunately. Okay. It's just it breaks too many things. But either way, yes, please.
I'll explain it verbally. The flare can always be up so long as you're able to get near, and it reveals 100% of the bush when you put it in the center. It's as good or better than Lunara's Wisp. The only downside is you need to be nearer. Rexar, as part of the 4-man on Dragonshire, was pioneered by HoTS in a previous CCL season, and since then, some but not many have tried to repeat it. Rexar is going to be the bottom laner that's usually covered by a hero such as Mephisto, Gul'dan, Sylvanas, Junkrat, Maiev. Usually a backline, but sometimes a melee. Chromie often does it as well. Now it is going to be that solo lane, bot, and top. That is Diamond Hands' strength this game. Having this solo laner in the bottom, it is going to be much safer than many others. That also provides vision on the rotation. Now, let's talk about how you get ahead on this map is usually by bullying the solo laner, by pushing top. Bottom is usually so well defended that if you can use Bruiser Camp to push... Oh my god, yeah boy's going in. He knew there was no way out. So if you use Bruiser Camp and you shove it like a tidal wave into your enemy fort in the top, you take those towers away, the solo laner becomes so much more gankable. Already the Haka was ganked, which is unfortunate and almost jinxy since I was talking about him. But that's how you catch the solo laner, making sure they don't have a safe fallback point.
And I'm looking at the bottom lane right now. Thrall into Rexxar is not that bad, actually, especially with the Rolling Thunder at level 1. Sustainability coming out from that. And Misha kind of just wants to stand still and auto into the Thrall, which is going to allow Cure to build up those Frostwolf pack stacks quickly. Now, as a reminder, if you miss one or you die before this is completed, you lose all your current stacks. A lot of damage on the Legacy. He's going to try and back away, but the Wolf Boy can't bite a butt. And the damage over time from Lunara will be enough. Dahaka, Misha will go down. Misha losing in the bottom lane right there. Still a trade benefiting the members of 30k because they still have control of the Sunshrine. Caesar Salad trying to back away. Haunting way forward from Madara. Heavy looking for the punchies. And he gets it.
Thrall did lose his root stacks. He was juked by Nintori. He was
nice.
at 5 out of 6. And he missed it. He doesn't even have enough mana to start getting those stacks back up again. I looked at the totally less important thing.
That's okay.
As you covered Sylvanas dying.
See, that's the benefit, Grubby. When I'm talking about one thing, you're looking for another thing. So we got eyes all over the map right now, and eyes on the bottom lane. Cure taking a lot of damage, goes down heavy with those punches, and Rexxar getting a little revenge for that Misha kill earlier.
A nice dodge there by Caterpillar as EA boy managed to dodge the Stormbolt with a very nice, not Brushstalker, Burrow?
Burrow, yeah, from Dahaka, absolutely, yeah, Burrow. I was looking around, I was like, oh, he went Lurker Strain at level 4, is that what you mean?
Yeah, no, just a nice Burrow dodge and then tried to get the Drag Tongue, but dodged as well by Caterpillar. Caesar Salad pushes in mid-wave. Note how now there would be no info for 30k in the middle of the map. So they don't 100% know whether Diamond Hands is going top or whether they're taking Bruiser, and now it is known, yes, it was Bruiser.
Bruiser for bottom, another flare out from Rexxar. I believe you talked about this at the start of the game, but the nice thing about flare is it has 100% uptime, literally meaning that the moment it expires, the cooldown's already through, and one stray auto. That's a reset onto the level 4 for Cure. Level 7 for Cure follow through. Usually it's Ancestral Wrath or Blood for Blood as it used to be called, but follow through, okay, interesting. It's not a popular talent with a lot of heroes, but it is.
Yep.
It's more damage. It's definitely more damage for sure.
Yeah, all that we can say is that follow through is greed damage and more consistent, and the ancestral weapon is burst damage and also safest, right? Because you cast it and you can literally walk away 360 degrees. You cast it, you heal up. It's a single connection. You don't need to stay in auto attack, and it's the only level 7 that heals you. So that's usually like the tank talent. He's going more assassin route with this, and also with an eye towards the fact that there are no large health pools on the side of Diamond Hands. Anubarak, Rexxar, and Misha are less high health tank targets. Less high than, for instance, a Murdin or a Diablo would be. Another nice dodge by Cattle. He does take much of the 7-sided, but in comes Ancestral. Now he's going to be looking to turn. He wants to turn, he wants to get some stuns and have his team follow up, but impossible.
Something we didn't talk about at level 1 is going to be the Unfurling Shadows for the Sylvanas. She didn't go Festering Wounds at 7, which is often paired with it to be able to get even more stacking because of the Haunting Wave value, but it looks like Madara wants to utilize those Haunting Waves for just Disengage or Mobility as the Sundering comes out from Thrall as well. Cure getting low, Madara trying to back away. The Boars were unleashed by Rexxar, that's why everyone was moving so slow on the side of 30k, and Burrow out from the Dahaka, that Lurker Strain helping him get away. Madara continuing to throw out those Haunting Waves. 81 stacks for the Unfurling Shadows. Thrall here has 1 on his level 4. The Tissue Regeneration's halfway done by the Dahaka, and we have 14 out of the 25 stacks for Hunter Gatherer, which is going to be big for that extra armor. And I believe that's armor, it's 15 armor onto Misha and Rexxar as well.
Yeah, on both. It's pretty sick. I love that talent. Now, I don't know if this is real news or not, but apparently if Sylvanas gets 120 stacks, someone said, on that level 1 quest, that's where it starts to outperform its alternative.
Ooh, okay. And if that does, if that's not correct, that person in Twitch chat owes 100 gift subs. That sounds reasonable.
No, perm ban will be enough.
Perm ban. Yes, there you go. I like that. Either gift 100 subs or get permaban. That's the only two options. Sorry to the loyal Twitch chatter out there, but no, that is actually good to know. So we'll keep an eye on the Unfurling Shadows and see what the damage looks like post 121 stacks. Misha in bottom lane, she will fall. That is also a stack for Cure as well. Haunting Wave in top lane, Madara able to back away.
Nobody at the Dragonite. Fun fact, if the tempo is fully claimed and someone immediately starts capping, you cannot put it back on the halfway point on time. It's slightly tilted towards the advantage. Now, that felt like a pretty safe absorbent defender, like over-abundantly safe, right under the gate there. 2-minute cooldown, but nicely done by Diamond that they were able to punish that and force him to use that. Now, that's going to be a Dragonite out of nowhere. A little bit of a level 13 advantage, good positions, well done by Diamond Hands, applying pressure in all the right places, good rotations, and they get the first Dragonite of the game.
Dragonite goes to kick onto Cattle. He will Dwarf Toss away, but the Dragonite's kind of okay with that because it puts him closer towards the fort. Doesn't take much, if any, free damage. Kick onto Sylvanas. Now Liam in the top lane, 79 seconds on Ardent Defender. Has the Dauntless level 1. There's the...
miss.
Yeah, it had to have.
Yeah, I saw it. He was trying to like shoot it against the running target. It's usually quite tough because there's the wind up.
And also, Thrall is done with his level 4, which is beneficial for him. So he's got that cooldown and all that. Is it cool? Is it cooldown reduction? Yeah, reduce the cooldown and mana cost of Pharaoh by 50%. There we go. I couldn't remember if it was just resource reduction.
Yeah, it's so good because you just want it before level 16, so you get the
and
alpha killer.
Spirit Shield. Now, there's some adaptations with this Thrall build, but I'm not hating them. Spirit Shield at 13.
Well, it makes sense, right? If you're not going for a Frostwolf Resilience stack reliant level 7, then you don't need to use Frostwolf Grace 13 in idle moments to buff up that 8 stack requirement as much. And now it's all about burst. You go in with Sundering under the cover of Spell Shield with the bonus of follow through. So he's gone for the bursty assassin style.
A little overkill, I feel, but at the same time, they kill the Urel. 5 seconds on Ardent Defender now. Murden Dwarf tossing into the bottom lane, and Rexar will be going down. Burrow charge from Anubarak connecting onto Cure, who will continue just to auto-attack and sort of back away, but he doesn't have enough healing right now. He is CC'd to Oblivion. There's the Ancestor healing, and Thrall comes through. Yeah, boy! Yeah, dead, and Muradin jumps in. He's trying to set up something on Caesar Salad. There's going to be a root on to Hebi, who does get the dash away. Bottom lane fort front gate does go down. Still a good push for the side of 30k, and I'm pretty certain that the Dragonite phase should be announced once again, as it is a low timer from when the Dragonite goes down to when it's announced. Yeah, I got this like weird intuition from time to time.
Yeah, that timing. I bet you can tell when the boiled eggs are perfect as well.
Oh, absolutely. It depends on how the egg is floating in the water. There's a little bit of like there's a technical name for it, but there's if you see how the egg
floatiness.
Yes, yeah, the scientific term of egg floatiness.
Yo, Hero would have died in the bottom lane, by the way, if he didn't have the cover of that spell armor.
100%. Yeah.
Pretty sick. 2 deaths, but it felt like he faced death many times and stared it down with great defiance. It's been fun watching him, and to have Diamond Hands been targeting him. We're 11 minutes in, level 16 apiece and 6 forts apiece still, with a small structural advantage to Diamond Hands on that mid fort.
Misha's dead for the next 15 seconds. Rutso looking to step onto the point. We have lasers, channel potential for the Dragonite mid, but Thrall still busy working on the lane, and he's not going to be able to get the channel just yet. We'll see if 30k can regain control of the Moon Shrine in the bottom. Dahaka and Urel are brawling out. Now, Thrall will be seen in the rotation towards top. Actually, he doesn't go up there. I'm looking at that Sentinel Wisp in the bush between the rotations, so yeah, boy is fine for now. Liam just going to be bopping him around with that Righteous Hammer.
While taking the siege camp, another advantage of follow-through is that you take camps a little bit faster.
Oh, bye, Misha.
Wait, what did he die to?
Damage over time from Unfurling Shadows, I believe.
And it's at 150 stacks. So if our Twitch chat scientist is correct, and I have no doubt that they are, then it is now outperforming the other level 1.
So it's currently 75.5% bonus damage, but I'll talk about that in a second. Ancestral Healing on Madara does come through. The drag will land from, yeah, boy, Cocoon onto the Rhaegar. This might be a double kill. Cattle, I think he's looking to just back out of here. So yeah, Rhaegar should die. No Ancestral for the next 88 seconds. Legacy gonna try and run out of here.
Does he though?
If he didn't get hit with that drag, I actually think he might have been able to run out of this.
Yeah.
There was like a really good juke at the start. Either way, so the Unfurling Shadows, 151 stacks, 75.7% bonus damage, and the base damage of Shadow Dagger is 292. So is it a buff onto the base Unfurling Shadow Dagger or Dagger damage?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll have to look at that later because another fight will break out here in the bottom lane. Yrel with a Righteous Hammer.
It says 75.5% bonus damage. 75.5. That's really good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're really amplifying the potential. Speaking of potential, that is a Dragonite in mid lane, and Nubrak does have the channel.
Wow, another Dragonite going to Diamondats. They will be looking to take that down. I wanted to say mid forward, but he's like, nah, I ain't giving you more stacks, Madara. But more stacks have been granted either way. Madara goes away with the E. So the priority actually is on mid fort, question mark. I asked HoTS this, and which fort should you take down if you had free choice on DS with the DK? And he wasn't sure actually. He was like, should be bot maybe. And then I was like, shouldn't it be mid? He's like, yeah, maybe. I think mid is nice to take down first.
Yeah.
Because you get so much information for rotations.
It also is it's good denial in the lane too, so you can just chase in during what could potentially be a Dragonite for your team.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential. Speaking of potential kill into Cattle, he pops Avatar, he dwarf tosses away, has that armor. Oh no, the turnaround. Was this an overextension? Madara's here, Legacy is here. There's a slow from the Purge from level 7, and that is mind control. And now Cattle chases in. He doesn't have the heavy impact. He actually went into Skullcracker still at level 7, so he's got those mini stuns. Nentori, that's gonna be a feigned death. That just
He's
buys.
dead. Let's go. Job done.
Yeah. Job done. Job done.
Misha just came back too. So sad.
Uh-oh, Hebby? I don't know about this one, Hebby. Oh, no.
Oh, my God. No.
So, a minute to maybe a minute and a half ago, I was sitting here like, wow, things are kind of falling apart for 30K. And that just happened. So never mind. My thoughts will go away. Also want to note, Sylvanas 200 stacks. She has bonus damage 100%.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, 100% sure, and also exactly 100%.
Yeah, exactly 100%. Yeah.
She's definitely got some bonus damage, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But wow, if we could just replay the last 60 seconds with some kind of sitcom theme music, I think that would do really great. Like, I'll be there for you. Like, just silly moments, you know. There was just the slaughtering, the reckoning. Diamondats kind of just fell apart. They chased Muradin so far. Isolation missed. So sad for the Haka, because if Isolation actually hit, and they could have killed Muradin, killed the fort, and they would be doing good. This was supposed to be a happy occasion. But now Diamondats actually ends up losing several heroes, some of which even felt unnecessary, as they thought, hey, the danger is past. And Heavy went into that bush, but Relentless was 30k. Great at min-maxing on their potential. They get a fort and a keep. Suddenly, the game has topsy-turvied.
A Dragonite to the side of 30k could just be GG and it's over. Yeah, boy has to defend a lot in bottom lane. We do have the Sunshrine picked up by Misha. Sylvanas going to be going into the top as well to go clear out the waves. So I think we're just looking at kind of mostly lane clearing. We're doing some janitorial duties, as we've been talking a lot about sweeping and mopping today, but it's just making sure you manage your lanes. A Nubrak does go to bottom, but Yrel, Avenging Wrath's over the far side of the wall and is able to get the counter channel, though the chase might happen here. I thought Cattle was looking for something on the low end of this top lane area, but not the case. It's going to be Misha, stomped by Liam.
Sylvanas with the badass level 20. Withering Fire applies Banshee Curse. More damage, no Bolt of the Storm. It's certainly interesting and unusual. I never see this level 20 really.
I don't either, actually. It's a little surprising. For anyone that is one, yeah, so if anyone's, Withering Fire applies Banshee Curse, and heroes hit by Withering Fire reduce its cooldown by 0.75 seconds. Phew.
It's a strange choice. He
Yeah.
has no other Withering Fire
Exactly.
abilities.
I guess the Banshee Curse is also synergistic with the level 1 Unfurling Shadows, because once you get the 3 stacks of Banshee's Curse, you can start getting value
Oh,
for it.
yeah.
So maybe that's the synergy he's looking for, is just more stacking, more ability to spread that curse around. And god dang, Misha, she's just getting bullied left and right in this map number 3.
So it's to stack faster at level 20. I mean, yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
why not?
That is the synergy, but I don't know. Like that seems late to stack, but
I agree.
We'll see. It's either way. It's more damage. He feels safe.
Mind
That's
control?
the point. Oh my god,
Max range.
Oh my god, he
Beautiful.
totally didn't see that coming. 100% you can burrow charge out of there. No.
Oh, I think so, yeah. I like, if I was the Anubarak, I wouldn't have tried to burrow. I'd have been like, oh, it's fine, I'm good, I'm out of here. No, unfortunately, you're not. And so,
Yeah.
oh, there we go. One auto from Madara. Everyone was like, you'll take care of this, right? So, either way, Liam invades on the camp. Really good call coming out from 30k. This is pressure through the bottom lane. Sylvanas to go clear things out. And maybe even another Misha kill. Yes, she will fall.
20 seconds, 24 seconds death time, little bit of XP. Still, the Haka stopping the apocalypse. Now, you gotta wonder, how confident is Eminence feeling right now? Like, after all that? It can't be
Oh,
too
no.
confident.
Oh, good dash. Sorry.
Anyway, we haven't done any comms yet.
Oh, you're right.
30k comms?
Sure, let's go.
We wanted.
No, mid.
try
We
for
can
most
end. We
time.
can end. We can end. We can end. If we get a pick, we can end.
Flash here.
Look for picks then.
They're gonna look for picks too, though, yeah?
Cleared,
So
yeah.
don't it.
Rexar's here.
I kick
Watch the
Lunar.
ISO. The ISO's the big thing.
They
Cleanse
cleanse
out.
it. If he sevens me, you gotta
Camp
block
here.
it. Watch him.
Cleanse.
Thank you. That was
Nice.
huge.
Tongue down. Trey and 5 for the wall.
Bears.
I'm just
Cleanse is,
stepping
Yeah,
in.
cleanse
cleanse is
for
40.
now. Yeah.
Be careful for that.
Yeah. I'm getting
Oh,
getting
this
bot
is
wave.
gonna
Careful.
be a long game.
Getting bot wave.
I kick monk.
Coming now.
Just
Cosmic
finish
Wisp
wall.
and Flare here.
Lunar is
Maybe an
1
angle
HP.
here.
Oh my
Maybe an
god.
angle here.
Lunar is literally 1. Huge damage.
I'm maybe looking for something
Totem.
over the wall here. Can you bait them a little bit to the right?
What web?
Trying.
MC.
I'm trying to find something.
Got him.
Nice.
No,
They didn't come them.
I saw
Oh,
me.
nice.
I got ice.
You're okay,
I'm
you're
okay.
okay.
I'm okay. Back up.
Everyone's okay,
Walk
everyone's
left.
okay.
Walk left.
Ice under, ice under.
Thank you.
Kill them, maybe.
You see Ancestral?
Little deep.
I might need help.
Oh, noob. Kill
A
them.
noob. Root after. Big root.
Dive them.
Yeah. Kill them all. Daka first.
Daka.
I'm down.
I think.
Actually,
Monk.
Keep
Nice.
going.
Yeah, keep going.
Little deep.
Just go all the way. Ignore the fort.
Yeah,
Go to
core.
core. Yeah, we have it.
Hey,
Be ready for a jump stun soon. Jump stun looks
I need
soon.
help.
I'm getting the cat as I rip too.
Yo, play off this. Okay.
Help me.
I need help too.
Yeah, good luck.
How long is he right now on Lunar?
We're getting kind
Just
of
end. Core is it.
88, bro. What the heck?
I mean, I didn't say we had
Hey,
4
Q,
shadows
keep the
there.
build. Keep the build.
And just like that, GG's. Members of 30k will be taking map number 3 in our second best of 5 of the day, and this is a very, very good series. I tried to stay in those comms as long as I could so we could hear a little bit of the battle cries at the end. You kind of heard Cure just wee right at the end. It was funny though, because like we jumped into the comms and they were kind of back and forth on this Dragonite Grubby, and you could actually hear. I don't know who said it. It might have been Madara, might have been Cattle or something. But I just hear someone going, "This is gonna be a long game," and then they end right away off of it. That was just too good. That was really too good.
Yeah, that was Caterpillar. He's like, this is going to be a long game. And then, you know what really impressed me about that is how fast they can change tack.
Yes, absolutely. Like
They're ready to leave. They're ready to save someone. Liam says he doesn't need help. He's fine. The moment he's not fine, immediately it is recognized and immediately Sundering, Ancestral, the turn, big root. Keep going. And yeah, amazing.
absolutely amazing. Justin, was it amazing?
It was super amazing. I'm glad that we managed to jump into the comms there at the end, because hearing the way that they communicate is really nice. It definitely feels like it's kind of on a level of its own compared to all the other teams' communication. Everyone is always just on the same page naturally. They're all watching for each other. You heard Liam being the puppet master being like, you could just move them a little bit to the right, that would be good. And then they do, and they get the engaged. Like, that's how much control 30K has in the game, in the fights, and that's how good their communication is too. That they take any small advantage and they just leap on it. You hear Kira especially, just kind of the main shot caller, I'd say, but everyone is contributing just so much information and everyone just seems to be naturally on the same page. And that's definitely what you want in general, but especially on this map. I'd say my MVP for this game, though, has got to be Madara on the Sylvanas. He got over 200 stacks and was just doing a ridiculous amount of damage into the late game. He wasn't even the one who was laning against the Rexar. This was the moment where Diamond Hands lost kind of control of the game. Cattle gets turned... they tried diving Cattle, and the Ancestral comes out from Legacy, from out of Fog, and they don't expect it, and they get ran down afterwards. Just like a massive overextension by Diamond Hands. Diamond Hands was actually, for the most part, in control of the game up until this point specifically. But 30K is able to take a 3-0, which they end up getting here, and they convert that into a massive lead. They open up the map entirely. They create themselves a win condition through bottom by getting the bot fort, getting the bot keep afterwards. This is the continuation of that as Heavy gets taken down as well. And this 3-0 is an instant bot keep. There's no hesitation. They send 5 members down there. This is late game Madara getting a pick onto Caesar Salad was super important. Well, then you have Cattle. The attempt by Diamond Hands to do it doesn't work out because Cattle can just jump away. And then this was the final, the fatal fight where you hear all the communication from 30K while we're in there listening to the comms, and the way that they play the fights, the way they peel for each other, how they're all looking at the same thing. You heard Liam. He knows exactly like what his limits are. He knows when he needs help, when he's fine. He doesn't want people to waste cooldowns trying to save him. And as soon as he says he needs help over here, you have Cattle just jumping in after him. You have Kira saying like, we can use that. Like, oh, Liam's looking like he might die. I see that as an opportunity. Let's turn this fight here. Let's bait him in. So it's just they're just thinking about everything. They're thinking about the smallest little nuanced things. And at this level, that's really what makes the difference, and that's why 30K has been looking so strong. They definitely deserve the 3-0.
I mean, in that bottom moment, it's one of those things where I look at that and it's just like death waits for the slightest lap in concentration, and the members of 30K found that slight lapse in concentration and just shut down the members of Diamond Hands and were able to really just kind of steamroll past a lot of that. But of course, let's go ahead and get one of the 30K members joining us right now, I believe is Madara. So we got an interview with Madara. How you doing, my friend? Congratulations on the victory.
Hi there, thank you. I'm doing well.
So I'm gonna quickly kick things off. That Dragonshire map was probably that was the only time when Diamond Hands started to kind of push against you. Was there any sort of adjustments you had to make in Dragonshire, or was it like we chill, we get to this point in the game like 16s, or you stack 200 plus stacks on Sylvanas and you just win the game? Can you talk a little bit about the game plan that was utilized for Dragonshire?
Yeah, so normally the plan when you have Sylva on that map is you just take the top camp and you end the game with that, and we kept trying to do that and they kept responding, which is why it kind of went a little poorly for us, because they would respond and then they'd gank bottom lane, and Thrall has a really rough time into ganks. So later on in the game, Kira was like, let's stop going top, let's start running bot instead, and that's really when our momentum started turning, when we got those like fights under our bot for it and caught them overextended a lot.
Oh, thank you. That literally answers exactly the question, because I was like, what was the turn? What was the change in the playstyle? So thank you so much. But of course, other questions from Justin and Grubby. We'll start out with Justin.
Yep. So in game 1, it was a little bit close there at the end. How confident were you guys? And I guess just what was your general strategy in that map? It felt like you were in control of it for most of it until you weren't, and then you kind of got the reverse Uno card at the core. What was the thought process?
Yeah, that one was a little intense. We've been scrimming Diamond Hands on BOE a lot. They've got some really good like draft strategies on that map, so we've got pretty accustomed to what they like to play. I think the main problem was in the late game. Once a noob got 20 hardened, that's when things really started unraveling a little bit. We weren't able to kill him off a lot of our like CC chains, but eventually, I mean, Kira was like, I just keep missing my scatters, so I promise I'll hit the next one, and he did. So that's all it really took.
Alrighty. Grubby, any questions for Madara?
Madara, would it be fair to say that you felt that you won all 3 drafts, or do you feel like it was more of a outplay or get lucky or something?
I don't think we necessarily won all 3 drafts. In fact, I don't think Kira knows how to draft. Somehow we just keep getting away with it, which is pretty insane. So I don't think we necessarily won the drafts too hard, but I think they were at least even in most of them.
Okay. Cure doesn't know how to draft. Got it. Going to the tabloids now. But well played.
I was gonna say his coaching command. He's not gonna want to hear that one. But either way, a really good series. Tomorrow you're gonna go up against Oxygen Esports in the upper bracket finals. Thoughts, concerns, excitement for that matchup?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Oxygen was my old org. I still love all the management there. Huge respect for a lot of their players right now. I don't know how they do it with that much ping, but really excited to play against them, honestly.
Well, we look forward to that matchup as well. Before we let you skedaddle and get ready for tomorrow's games and to go celebrate with your crew, any shouts that you'd like to give, the floor is all yours.
Yeah, of course, shout outs to the team, 30K, all you guys for watching, keeping HoTS going, CCL. Of course, huge shout out to Heinz Ketchup, to my roommate Weston. And lastly, to Based Kevin for, putting on the LAN in Miami.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Madar, for joining us for the interview. Good luck in your matchup tomorrow up against Oxygen. Until then, well, good luck in your practice and get some good rest.
Thank you.
Alrighty. I wanted to, we were going a little long with the interview, but I wanted to ask him what music he plays because I saw the guitar in the background. I never noticed it before, so that's where my brain was. For half the interview.
Gamers don't play music. They just put guitars for the stream webcam view.
Oh, that's what my brother's been doing for years. I thought he was just talented at guitar and stuff like that, but this was.
Oh. So gamers do play music. Okay.
I'm so sorry to my brother. No, either way, it's been a really fun day today here on HeroesCCL, but we're not done discussing some of the most amazing moments because it's time for everyone's favorite segment of the day. It's Justin's super springy, amazing, super powered clip of the day.
Yep, super springy, super powered, super clip of the day is coming in hot, coming at you live right now. It's between Wildheart and Oxygen. Wildheart did lose this series, but they do pop off in this clip. So they are playing topside because the objective is going to be spawning bottom. The arrow sidestep by Ivy Tings. Weary Day does get thrown in, but he gets the Ancestral on himself before he gets tossed. Immediately Mason Blaze peeling for his team with the Sundering, forcing the pull onto Bad Benny. Bad Benny now under threat. Zergling with the Baylog running him into the backline. Also using Olaf to just run him into the backline. And we thought this was strange at the time, like, what is Zergling doing? Why is he doing this? But it's because Zergling is using his big, huge, bulbous brain to resummon his Vikings down here, and they will end up securing both of these objectives and stalling out the rotation down to bottom, as it was all a big bait and switch, surviving the engage and getting the Vikings down bottom to get the double cap.
I love that play so much, and thank you, Justin, for bringing that up for anyone that might have missed it. That Towers of Doom game was an absolute blast. The two series we've had today were super fun, and I believe we can actually take a look at the updated double elimination bracket in a moment here, because it has been a really fun day. So, Grubby, could you break down what we saw today, and we'll look in a moment what is going to be happening in the future.
Yeah, Oxygen Esports in a 5-mapper against Wildheart, winning the first two, then losing two, nearly getting reverse swept, but finally clinching it in the 5th. That puts them in the winner bracket finals, which will also be best of 5 and played tomorrow. In the loser bracket, we find Wildheart Esports and Diamond Hands, who just lost 0-3 to 30k. That is a best of 5 as well, and it will be for elimination. The loser is going to be 4th place in the CCL. Still respectable, but their weekend ends. Then, in the Constellation Finals and Grand Finals, you have a best of 5 and best of 7. That's going to be on Sunday in this 3-day event.
We can actually take a look at tomorrow's specific schedule and get you all up to date onto what matches will be happening. Justin, could you break it down for our audience at home, as well as everyone over at the Wisdom Gaming Studios in Mall of America?
So tomorrow we've got Oxygen going up against 30k. 30k just 3-0'd today, and Oxygen with a difficult series. But this is our now first and second seed teams, the winners bracket teams playing against each other to stay in the winners bracket. And in the second matchup, we have Wildheart versus Diamond Hands. It is an elimination match. This is the lower bracket. One of these teams is going to lose their chance at the finals, and one of the teams is going to be sticking with it and still have a chance to make it to the grand finals and potentially win the whole thing as the underdog.
We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. We still have 2 more fantastic days of Heroes CCL action. Today has been an absolute blast. We have some great best of 5 action, and we will continue tomorrow with more of those games. We will be having the matchup of 30k versus Oxygen and Wildheart versus Diamond Hands. Should be a very, very fun day of Heroes CCL action starting at 11 a.m. PDT, 2 o'clock EDT, and 20 CEST. It's been really fun here on Heroes CCL, and we look forward to more matches tomorrow and Sunday. We got 2 more fun days of action for all of you at home. From the production crew, from Wisdom, from Grubby, Justin, and myself, we thank you so much for watching Heroes CCL. We thank you so much for pushing that prize pool up further and further every single weekend. And until tomorrow morning, or the afternoon, or even the night, depending on your time zone, we have had such a blast here. And until then, we'll see you in the Nexus. Good night.